Now, no one panic. It's just the internet. More afraid of you
Again?
than you are of it.
This is untrue. But
Decidedly
hello, Internet.
untrue.
Yes. Hello, Internet. Welcome to another stream from Nerd House Tabletop. This is Extra Life 2.0 Electric Boogaloo. So we are continuing to raise money for Extra Life, which is a foundation that supports Children's Miracle Network hospitals. In case you're unfamiliar with that hospital chain, it's a series of hospitals in the United States and I think maybe some in Canada that specifically cater to kids, sick kids, and various needs. They do wonderful work to help not only the kids themselves, but to support the families during their trying times as well. And so we enjoy helping to fund a great organization such as CMN. And so we are at about, let's see, let me look at the page. We are at $2,350 that we have raised thus far for the year, most of that coming from the primary Extra Life Day. And our goal is $3,000. So we are here again. We're going to close that gap. The easiest way for you to close that gap is to decide to screw over all of the DMs as we attempt to run our 4 hour little mini sessions here. You can donate and just donate if you'd like, or you can specifically decide that you're going to have a perk that you would like to give the players. Uh, this round, we have three kind of base perks. You can do $5, and that's going to get one player advantage on their next roll. Easy peasy. You can do $15, and that's going to give all the players advantage on their next roll. And then, as kind of a marker through time, every time we hit another $50, the players are going to get kind of their own layer action in combat that'll help them in the fight. I will say, screw it as well. If you want to, instead of giving advantage to a player and you just want to give me disadvantage on a roll, that works too. Either way, same thing. You can interact with the game and help or hinder me or the players in order to make things a little bit more interesting. But again, all of that money is going to help Children's Miracle Network hospitals, so it's always a great cause. If you are unable to donate, because I understand everybody just bought holiday gifts, it's a little bit difficult time of year sometimes, we are always happy to just take, even if you share the stream so that someone else can see it. That is always amazingly helpful as well. Or even if you have one of your free Amazon Prime subs, the Nerd House team does match those subs and donates that monetary value. So even that can count as a donation. It doesn't always have to be money. We appreciate your support in any way.
Yeah, and I'm
So
pretty sure that uh Twitch sub sale. I think subs are like 20% off or 50% off through the end of the year, I think. And if you do want to sub or give bits to the channel, Nerd House is matching the full value of those. So even if you're subbing at 50% off, we will still match that full value.
awesome. I don't understand Twitch enough to even know what bits are, even after all this time that I've been on this stream. But great.
I run this stream. I have no idea what bits are.
I'm old. But on that note, we will go ahead and get started. We start with our four players here. They are sitting in their office, which is a converted old warehouse in the meatpacking district in Chicago. Because we are doing let's call it a modern urban fantasy D&D setting. So McDonald's and Minotaurs, essentially, all at the same time, all the fun stuff.
That
So,
sounds like a great name for a show.
yes, that'll be our next stream name. If we have another show we add
Only if
McDonald's
you
and
want to get
Minotaurs.
sued.
I'm sorry,
Anyway.
McDonald's.
McDowell's. It's not the same
McDowell's.
thing.
They've got the golden arches. I've got the golden arcs.
Yes. Not the same thing at all. But the group is sitting in their office. They are a group of adventurers and private investigators. Please Shay, tell us what is the name of the private investigation company that you guys run?
Oh God. What did I decide that it was? I have to go back. Mr. E. Usher's what did I say yesterday? Mr.
That was
E.
it.
Usher Private Investigation.
Yes. Mr. E. Usher was the original owner who thought his name was so cool to sound like it was mysterious for a private investigator. But when he retired and you guys took over, you guys just didn't bother to change the name. It's too much paperwork. You're not going to do that.
No, screw
So
paperwork.
as you guys are sitting, yes, you're that. As you guys are sitting in your office, let's go around and have you guys introduce your characters and tell us what you guys are doing as you're, I don't know, waiting for like a client or someone to show up. We'll start with Violet.
Um, Tiffany is a uh 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 oh my god, I already forgot her race. Astral elf, which in this setting will just mean from very far north Canada. Um and Tiffany, I'll talk in Tiffany's voice a bit here about herself. Well, I'm just, I'm a finder for hire. I'm a wizard, and I do study the trades and the tracking and the things of the like. But I'm not too flashy, and I don't know a lot of combat. But if you're missing something, boy howdy, I'll get down there and find it for you.
Excellent. Now you have to keep that up the whole time because you've
Mm-hmm.
established it. You did this to yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Don't worry about that, eh?
All right, Spencer, go ahead and introduce your character.
My name's Calvin Lightfoot. I am a halfling cleric. Uh, I have a large burn across my back that I have tattooed to get it healed, being a mark of healing halfling. Um, I am the newest addition to this company, being only 19 years old. And I've just moved in recently.
You are a baby, especially in halfling years.
Yeah, in halfling years, you're an infant. All right, Dustin.
You're our intern.
Yep.
You really are just the intern. Um, I am Bogey, the Luxodon Bard. College did I pick? College of
Spirits.
Spirits. And as we wait around for our next job, I am just kind of, hanging out, not really doing much, just plucking away on my ukulele.
Like,
Oh yeah, you
forgot
didn't
about
you
that.
didn't realize that? I'm an elephant with a ukulele because that will never not be funny.
Okay. And last but not least, Shay.
Me. Hi y'all. I'm playing Kynem Steadyfist, a Minotaur Path of the Juggernaut barbarian. And I think that as this scene starts, we can I think Kynem, who uses they them pronouns, I think, just kind of like pushes the door in and walks in with two giant McDonald's bags. Is like, all right, there's lunch.
Excellent. As it's just like all meat, just hamburgers and
I
fries and
ordered a bunch
everything.
of
You're like,
stuff,
just
and
everything.
here you go.
Yeah, it's just a burlap sack full of Big Macs.
Yep.
You know what?
Alright.
We'll say that it's McRib season, so you were able to get some of those too. You know, special.
Hell
Perfect.
yeah.
DM Rhodes, I have a question about my portent rolls. When would you like me to roll them, and would you like to know them?
Remind me. Sorry, I don't have your character sheet open.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Divination
thinking I was gonna
Wizard,
do.
the start of each day, I get to roll 2 die for portent roll, 2d20 for portents, which I get to slot in for pretty much any roll I want. Some DMs do above the table, some do below, some DMs know them. Up to you.
Let's say you rolled them at the start of the day. So if you want to roll them now, if you didn't roll them already, and I will trust you to be honest there, because it will keep the game interesting when I don't know. All right, as you guys settle in to chow down on your McRibs, uh, shortly after you hear a very, very quiet knock on the door. That for a moment you're not even sure if you really heard it until you wait a second and you hear it a little bit again.
I stand up from my seat and I move over to answer the door.
You open the door, and for a second, it's almost as if you don't even realize someone is there because you are looking at the human personification of blending into the background. You're seeing a gentleman that is just drab. He's basically just wearing, you know, uh, very plain colors, white shirt, khaki pants. He's got very plain features and, short blonde hair. He's the sort of person that he might actually be able to stand still enough to become invisible. There is nothing about this person that stands out and is noticeable in any way, shape, or form. But once you do kind of blink and realize he's actually there, uh, he says, he looks at you. You're very big. And looks at you and says, Mr. E. Usher, please?
Uh, that that's us. Why don't you come inside? And I step to the side, allowing this nondescript individual entry.
He steps in, sees you guys, eating your lunch, and
I
says,
offer him a McNugget.
he takes it and just kind of holds it in his hand and then just puts his hand down. He's
Oh,
still
sorry. Did
holding
you mean
it.
barbecue?
Uh, no, thank you. But
Oh,
he looks around confused, like, and he just kind of holds it at his side. He doesn't know what to do. And says, "Well, my employer asked that I see if you guys were available for a job.
Who's your employer?
Uh, he would like to remain anonymous due to the nature of the job. Uh, he's a man of very discerning tastes and a great history, and he does not always want certain things to get out. I mean that's kind of normal probably for your sorts of work, right?
I definitely
Yeah,
want to
but
roll
I've
an
just got
insight on this
curious.
guy.
Sure.
And while that's rolling, Tiffany is going to cast Detect Thoughts,
Okay.
staying
Uh,
at surface level for the time being.
Okay.
there was an 18.
18. Okay. Dustin, with your 18, you get the impression that again this guy just kind of exists in the world. And he sounds like he feels like he's being honest. His boss doesn't want his name out there. It whatever it is, it's a private matter and he's here to deliver a message. And then Violet, you get you said you get surface level thoughts is what you're staying with. You said correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct.
You're just kind of getting him thinking, oh gosh, I really hope they take the job because I don't know if anybody else can take this job. He really needs this. I don't even know. He'll be so mad if I don't get someone to do this for him. Gosh, I really hope they take this job. What am I supposed to do with this McNugget? I'm a vegan. I don't know what to do right now. Oh my goodness.
Tiffany walks up and reaches for the McNugget and says, "Oh, let me take that from you. You kind of seem don't like you're interested in that, eh? Why don't you come sit down and we can talk a bit about our contracts?"
Oh, yes, of course. And he happily hands you the McNugget and sits down and just says, well, to be fair, I'm not entirely certain of what my boss needs at the moment. I'm just supposed to hand you this letter. And he hands it to Timpani since she's been so kind to help rescue him from the confusion that is chicken nuggets.
You okay? Let's see what we got here.
And you see a letter that's very short that just says, I seek the sage diadem. As luck would have it, the diadem is currently on display at the Field Museum in your very town. Included is an advance of 1,000 gold. An additional 3,000 gold will be yours upon delivery. I trust you will have no troubles.
Oh, well, that's pretty straightforward there. Eh? Well, gang, we gotta steal this diadem from the Field Museum, and I suppose we can get some Chicago dogs while we're down there. Eh?
It's my favorite stand in Chicago.
Rhodes, is
Mhm.
the sum is the overall sum of 4,000 gold, is that a lot?
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Okay.
Even in advance of 1,000 is already quite a lot. You guys might typically ask for like a 10 or 15% deposit, so to speak, and he's giving you 25% out the gate.
Okay. Um
I ain't mad about the gold that's in hand.
Have any of us heard of this item before?
Give me a history check.
All of us.
Anyone who cares. Sometimes your character doesn't care. So
I got a 8.
Same. Hot out the
uh
gate.
18.
okay. Okay. With an 8, you've heard of it. So I'll say everybody has heard of it before because when the Field Museum put this on display very recently, it was in the news. So like social media posts of like, oh, this is so exciting. So, everyone's at least heard of it before. Those who got in the teens know a little bit more about it. You know that the Sage Diadem is something that was just very recently found after having been lost for hundreds of years. So it's a very big deal to have found this, and the Field Museum is so excited. You guys basically clicked on the article a little bit and actually read like the first paragraph. And so you know that it was something that, kings and queens throughout time have, coveted for its supposed magical properties. So it's definitely something that is worth more than 4,000 gold, to be fair. But it is, you're not going to get the full price, of course, of what the thing would be worth. But you wouldn't be surprised if some, rich a-hole wanted to add it to his private collection, because that's sometimes what rich a-holes do.
Okay. Um my only question at this point is uh how do we make delivery?
He hands you from out of his pocket or from his bag, he hands you a large stone that looks like lava rock that is partially still freezing into place. It's as if it's kind of stuck in a stasis. And he hands that to you and says, once you've, done whatever it is that you've needed to do, just say acquired. And you will be given a doorway to deliver the item.
That makes for an easy exit, at least. Getting in might be the issue.
Oh, getting in is rarely the issue. Getting
So-
out without handcuffs, that is usually the bigger issue.
Now we have a door.
So you'll take the job?
Yes,
Putting-
we're doing it.
Putting down like my third Big Mac. Wait, we do heists?
We do now.
Oh, okay.
We do today, kid.
When you're getting paid 4,000 gold, yeah, gotta do what you gotta do to stay afloat.
Look,
Okay.
you're an intern. This is more money you're going to end up seeing probably all year. So, yes, we're
Yeah.
doing heists now.
So, the Field Museum's kind of just like a colonizer's trophy case anyway, so morally, I'm totally fine with that.
Oh, yeah, we'll sort out the ethics and morality of it later.
Yeah, if you're stealing from a thief, then what does it matter? Duh.
So we've all heard of this thing, and it was just recently found. Where
Mhm.
was it found?
You had an 18.
I had an 18.
You know that it was found. You can remember that it was like somewhere in Africa, but you don't remember
I'm fine
where.
stealing it now.
I mean, we didn't have anything else to do this afternoon, so why not? Let's go.
All right. Well, the gentleman says, "Well, thank you," and he hands you a essentially what looks like a scroll that has a QR code on it, and you recognize this very easily as a way of like transferring money in this time. That you essentially can, if you are some sort of a magic user, you can essentially tie your arcane focus to a bank account and then just complete the spell by touching that, and it'll just continue the transfer of funds. Or you can be assigned some sort of one time or one purpose use magical item if you're not some sort of a magic user. And so he hands you that as essentially that's the 1,000 gold. He's not going to give you 1,000 actual physical gold pieces.
Okay.
It's crazy. That's too heavy.
So this is a cashless economy.
Not for me.
Takes her staff out, initializes the transfer, say, all right, well, we got our advance. Should we start planning this thing?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're taking a field trip to the Field Museum.
Thank
Sounds
you
like my
for your
childhood.
patronage, Mr.
Lars.
Lars. Yeah.
Oh shit, he's
Thanks
still
for your
here.
patronage.
God damn.
Well, good luck.
Cool, spook me there.
He will take his leave. You can see that he kind of like eyes one of the McNuggets. And again, is a McNugget meat? Questionable, but he's still confused. He's still like a little put off by it. And he takes his leave and lets you guys finish your lunch. And probably assuming or planning your heist.
Yes.
Yeah, with my trunk, I just grab a Big Mac and just put the whole thing in my mouth because I'm an enormous
You can.
elephant.
Because you can, yeah, fair.
We love
And
lactons.
yeah, and I just say, bring the sack of burgers. We've got work to do.
As you are,
So are we going there now?
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't you guys do
Let's
what?
go.
A familiar voice says, kind of peeking through the doorway that didn't quite shut behind Lars.
I mean, I'm happy
I-
to tell
I
you the whole
turn
thing, but you
around
didn't
to-
seem very interested.
I turn around to identify the person with that voice.
And it is your friend, hanger on, dude that you know, Ainsley, who is a very kind of thin, wiry person with just like big, bushy, curly red hair that just kind of like that is his most defining feature, other than just the fact that he's like almost so thin that you're like, this guy probably, maybe we should just give him all of these McRibs. He needs to eat. And you know him as like, he really wanted to be the new intern that you hired, but you didn't let him, but he won't stop showing up. And he's annoying in the fact that he's kind of helpful because he like always seems to know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. But you don't actually want him around, but he's helpful. It's a
Ainsley,
conundrum.
just the man I wanted to see, and I get up and I shove half of a fry canister just in his chest. That's yours now.
Minister.
Whatever. I couldn't think of the word.
He's surprised because none of you have ever said you wanted to see him before. So he's like super excited, like puppy dog, almost like if he had a tail, he doesn't. But if he had one, it would be wagging excited, like, well, yeah, what can I help you guys with?
Got a guy who can get us into the backstage of the Field Museum?
Oh, yeah. I think my cousin's nephew's boyfriend might work there. I don't think he got
Oh,
fired or
Angelo?
anything.
I didn't realize Angelo worked there.
I mean, you know, he job hops, so like he kind of seems to always work everywhere, and I can't always keep it straight. But like, I'm pretty sure he hasn't gotten fired, and he's still there. So like, yeah, he could probably get you in. I mean, if you guys just want to go to the Field Museum, you know that like they have days for free sometimes, right? You don't even have to pay for it.
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
about getting into the Field Museum. It's about getting behind all the displays. Still.
Oh,
We
Wait,
were
are we
hoping
supposed
for
to
one
not
of
tell
those
everyone?
catered tours.
okay. So I'm assuming this isn't for fun.
No, it's
Let's
not
operate under that
fun.
assumption.
I mean, we plan on having fun.
Well,
Okay.
think of it this, Ainsley. Uh, it's a bit of a test, if you will. If you're able to do all this for us, we might consider you actually bringing you onto the team, eh?
Oh, okay. I mean, so like, what kind of a guided tour? Do you need like a tour guide or like, do you guys want like a private one? Because sometimes they'll close the museum down or like they'll stay open an extra a little bit longer after close for you to do your own private events. Do you guys need like a private event or something? That way
We
you have
need
me
a
out of the
Yeah.
tour that
place.
no one knows about.
Yeah, it would be sort of a private event.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me talk to my cousin. Uh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we should be able to make that work. Hopefully, he didn't get fired. Like one sec. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out what is like the modern equivalent of a sending stone. Uh, that happens to look like this strange rectangular object that's maybe like, I don't know, a half inch thick, a couple inches tall, a couple inches wide, you know, whatever.
It's an eye stone. Call it what it is.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. He pulls out his eye stone and, you know, steps to the side of the room, and you can hear him having like a hushed kind of back and forth conversation. And he comes back and says, yeah, he says that, like, they're not doing private tours or anything right now, but he says that, you know, depending on the offer, he could maybe like not remember to lock a door.
That's perfect. Just who needs locks?
Right. So after this, I'm in. I'm in.
If everything goes as it needs to, then absolutely we will 100% consider letting you in.
Yes, finally someone to get me coffee.
Okay. Now I'm gonna make her do an insight check. He's smart. No, he's not smart enough to realize how much wordplay you just did.
Perfect.
He says, "All right, awesome. Okay, they close at 6, so like maybe around then, or maybe like give a chance for the place to clear out. But yeah, tonight I'll make
Perfect.
sure he has a door open for you."
Excellent. There's the way
Then he,
in.
and then he very comfortably sits down in one of your chairs and like starts eating his fries. Now that he feels welcome to stay.
And it's probably like noon or so, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Just
yeah.
lunchtime.
Now at this point, closer to 1 after the conversation and whatnot. But yeah,
It was
closer
lunch.
to
All right.
I got a few hours.
Is there any
Uh,
preparation you guys need to do before you
uh,
adventure?
can we just walk past it so I can see it? It allows me to do some additional things if I've actually been close enough to the object.
If you would
It,
like to head to the Field Museum and buy a ticket and go through the tour, you could,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, just like a light casing of the joint.
I'll go with you.
Same. We should probably all go together.
yeah.
Alright.
We also did just to get a big donation. If Sam's math is correct, Tina donated $69, so advantage
Nice.
for all players on their next 4 rolls, and an extra $9 to make our total donations even. So the next time we are in combat, we will get 2 layer actions.
Yes, because it was a
Love you, Tina.
$31 one and a $69 one.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It would help if I read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. 2 lair actions for the party. I'm sure this will go well for me. All right.
Yep.
And everybody
It'll be
gets
fine.
advantage on their next 4 die rolls.
All right. You guys head to, after finishing your lunch, which granted is now a little bit cold, and like cold McDonald's is not good. But you guys finish up your food 'cause you don't want to be wasteful and head to the Field Museum. It is a Saturday, so it is packed.
Packed.
There are tons of screaming children, uh, grandmas running after their little wayward kids, but like again, this is modern urban fantasy, and so those kids are like, maybe a Luxodon, and so the child is as tall as like the adult halfling that might be their babysitter that's trying to or their nanny that's trying to wrangle them and keep them in line, but it is a full house at the museum.
That was going to
You
be my question. Do the Loxodon and the Minotaur stick out?
no,
Okay.
it's Chicago is a large city with lots of people of every, just like it is in real world, lots of people of every color, ethnicity, race, origin, etc. So you guys do not at all stand out.
So I don't even blink when like this grung family walks by. Cool.
Nope, not
Yeah.
at all. Yeah, any race you can think you could see. Like now, if you go to, like central. Once you get to like central and southern Illinois, where you are no longer in a major metropolitan area and it's basically just a giant cornfield, but yeah, you would stand out, but not
that makes sense.
here.
Cool.
Okay. Anyone who's offended, I am from Central Illinois. I'm allowed to say it. I know what it's like. All right. There is, of course, a ticket counter. So you would have to, you have a couple of options. You can buy the advanced tour where you can kind of go and see everything. There's like interactive exhibits that you can like see like stars and the shapes moving in the sky above you, or you can just buy like the base package, which is just like a basic entry fee. And you guys get a little bit of a discount being Chicago residents.
Is the
Well-
sage diadem like an extra add-on? I'm getting so caught up in the details of the field music.
It's okay, because I had way too much fun building this out.
No, that was going to be my exact question is that sage diadem its own experience that you need to like, is that an extra ticket or an extra fee to go and see that? Or is that included with any of the other packages?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception is Miss Jackson. The dirty 20.
Hey.
All right. You're looking around as you guys are waiting in line so you guys can get your tickets. And you do see right next to the ticket counter, there is a sign that essentially explains the different packages. And it says included in the basic level package are 4 rooms or 4 halls, I suppose. The Tang Hall, which is an exhibit on the Tang Dynasty in China, Bloodsuckers, which you're not too sure about, the first rulers of Europe, which is a history on some of the ancient European rulers, and the Hall of Gems. And so you're reasonably certain that the diadem is probably in the Hall of Gems.
Okay.
Okay. I think the basic package will probably work then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I just need to see it.
Yeah, you guys get up to the counter, and a very, very tired customer service employee sees you and says, "Hello, welcome to the film museum. How can I help you today?"
4 basic packs. 4 basic passes, please.
All right, that's okay. Here you go. Here's your basic packages. Included in that is any of these 4 rooms. Gestures to the 4 signs that explains each rooms. You can go in any order that you'd like. You do not have to go to every room. You do not have access to any of the other rooms. If you try to access any of the other rooms that you do not have access to, you will be escorted off the premises. Anything else?
Have a good one. And I walk on through.
Thanks, you too.
I do have a quick question, just as a curiosity. Has anyone ever cast animate object on Sue over there?
Or you're asking the employee?
Yeah.
She looks at you and looks at that. And even without an insight check, you can tell everybody asked that question. Everybody wants to see the giant dinosaur animated. And she looks and she says, "There are security measures in place to ensure that Sue cannot be tampered with, considering it is one of the only complete skeletons of a Tyrannosaurus Rex known in the world. No, you cannot cast animate object on Sue."
Oh, is it just Sue, or is that like for the whole place?
It's for the whole place. There are just extra protections on Sue, given the very delicate nature that it has.
Also, you wouldn't
Sure,
cast
got it. Well,
you wouldn't cast animate object, you would cast animate dead because she is a skeleton.
okay, now,
the
here, that
employee
brings up
gives you a
another
look like,
component. Okay, so that's interesting though, because it's held together by a metal endoskeleton in the skeleton, which is an object not part of the dead feature. So it's placed posthumously from her being alive. So I bet you could probably get away with either. You might need both.
You would probably
Can you
need
two
both.
argue can you two argue magic as we walk, please?
Please,
Oh yes,
says the
sorry.
employee.
I've already
Oh,
wandered in and
sorry.
started looking at exhibits.
Yeah, I will just give both of them just a gentle of like, we're moving on now.
I'm like
Okay,
8.5 feet tall. You're gonna have to do more than gentle nudge.
I'm a fucking minotaur. And
I have to full
if
on
you
body
really want
slam
me to
either
push
of them
you, I
for them
will.
to notice me.
oh God.
Elephants are
As you
bigger
guys
than
have this
cows.
as you guys have this conversation debating the best way to reanimate Sue, um, you guys head straight to the Hall of Gems in order to just see, because you guys have a mission. I assume you aren't necessarily trying to get through everything right now.
No.
Nah.
No.
Can I
We've
cast?
been here long enough. We've seen that Egypt exhibit about a dozen times.
Can I cast the light cantrip just like in my hands to see it reflect off in some of the gems?
Yeah, you could do that. That's not a problem.
Does
But when you
anyone
get
look at me weird for casting a spell?
no, I just put you guys in the room there as well. And so you can see there are large display cases with lots of pieces of jewelry and lots of some of the gems are raw and uncut. There's a little placard right at the door that says the Hall of Gems has a history older than the Field Museum itself, having been first shown in the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, and was then donated to the museum upon opening. Today, the collection includes hundreds of pieces of stunning, rare, precious gems and equally eye-popping jewelry pieces. And there's lots of people with like either a flashlight or a light cantrip trying to just see how things shimmer and move. And yes, you can cast that basic spell with no problem. And then there is the biggest crowd kind of just off center in the room in that carpeted area where everyone's kind of oohing and eyeing. But there's even little mirrors in the room where if you stand in front of them, it like makes it look as if you're wearing some of the jewelry pieces in like a VR kind of format. That there's a bunch of kids standing there pushing each other away, having a ton of fun with that.
They're so cute. I love it.
I am going to make my way into the room. I'm actually gonna come over here to this smaller display, and I'm gonna do, much the same thing that Calvin is doing. I'm gonna cast a light, but I would also like to, as I make my way around the room, I would like to roll either perception, maybe investigation. Um, and I wanna try and discern if any of these display pieces are actually real.
Sure. I'm going to say investigation for that one.
Okay. That is a 16.
Okay. With a 16, at least from what you've seen so far, they all seem real. You are, of course, assuming then that there are lots and lots of magical spells locking things into place, and that won't be easy to get things out then, but it does look like these are real uh, gems and stones and diamonds and things like that, at least as far as you can tell.
As I'm moseying through the room, can I just take a look around and do a quick scan for like security measures? I was thinking cameras, but then you were like, "Oh, spells." And I'm like, "I don't do magic."
Yeah, give me a perception check.
God damn. 6. No, wait. 9.
Oh yeah, you guys do have some advantages and stuff if you want to use them, or you can save
That's
them.
true,
whatever
I
you want.
do. Let's do that. Much better. 17.
Okay. At the 17, you do see that there are a couple of gentlemen wearing, just like a basic, boring suit with like earpieces, standing in the two kind of like back corners here and here. So yes, there's some security there, and you do think that you see in the corners maybe some cameras as well, because even if there are spells and magic, it doesn't hurt to double up on your security measures when you have both available to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any benches or seating area in this room?
Yeah. Yep. Those tables. There are some tables and chairs kind of scattered around, and there's a large bench down here as well towards the bottom. And you can see, sometimes the kids are sitting there, and they've got like little, almost like coffee table books, about some of the history of the items that are there, and so you can sit and relax as well.
Tiffany is gonna go down and sit on one of the benches and she's gonna pull out her grimoire and try to ritual cast detect magic.
Okay. As you're doing that, and that's going to take you, since you're doing it as a ritual, it's going to take you a little bit of time. Calvin, looks like you're going straight to the diadem, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the diadem, and then I'm also trying to look at the door that's shut. Is there anyone going in and out of that door since we've been in here?
Yes.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, people are going in and out as they finish up in the room and they head into the essentially the next exhibit
Okay.
hall.
Okay, but
If they'd like to. Yeah.
okay, so that's just another exhibit hall. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's what you're getting, is that the rooms are all connected in some way, so you can go from wherever you want to go next. As
Okay.
you approach the case, there is of course another placard there that says, "This beautiful gold headpiece with a large centered glistening blue diamond is known as the Sage Diadem. It has been used by men and women of power for thousands of years, though the details of its magical properties are still a mystery to this day. Throughout time, the diadem has been sought after for its supposed ability to unlock the wisdom within for those that are worthy or have great destinies to fulfill. Many wars were fought through the centuries over its ownership before it was lost in time in the 1300s. The sage diadem was recently unearthed in the tomb of Mansa Demba, known as the Mad Mansa, who was ruler of the Mali Empire from 1312 to 1337. The Field Museum is honored and proud to have this as part of their collection."
Very cool. So I communicate that to, or say, hey, you
Yeah.
should go read that plaque.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember all of it as Calvin, and then I have to go back over and reread it again. Um,
Oh,
You do
you
have to
small thing.
muscle your way in a little bit, because again, this is their current, no pun intended, crowning jewel to have in this hall. So everybody is going in that direction. So you do have to, like,
If
Calvin,
you,
you are tiny, so you were able to squeeze in very easily.
and then I ask
I was gonna
Kynan
say,
if
if
I
you
can
let
like
me, you can sit on
climb
my
up on.
shoulders. Hey,
Excellent.
Just use your horns as
Team
handlebars.
Yes.
Sid Same Brain.
Yes, you guys do that so that you can even both see and only have to take up one spot, which is actually very
Exactly.
considerate for the crowd in here. It's very lovely of you.
There you go. We're on the
All
same
right.
space.
All right.
So it
Is
says
there
they
anything
don't
else you
under.
guys need to?
It's
Sorry.
the plaque says that its magical properties are not fully understood.
That is what it says.
And I guess I'm just kind of talking under my breath to Calvin, so like we're not. I mean, we might be overheard, but not by anyone who is not a small child.
Yeah, but I'm also like on your shoulder, so our heads are right next to each other regardless.
Right, right. That seems they couldn't get someone like company, but you know, better. come figure this thing out?
I mean, you'd think, but I mean, I don't know what those wizards do. They do got some fancy tricks I can't figure out. So, I mean, maybe,
You
but
have some fancy tricks I can't figure out.
well,
Um,
by the light.
As you're pointing towards Timpani, just in the corner, fucking looking at her book, ritually casting a spell, but doing it so Canadian and politely that she's like making herself small and like keeps moving out of the way of the children a bit.
Right. As you look over at Timpani, she is, of course, casting that spell, and the 10 minutes of casting ends, and you, again, we're focusing on the diadem, and from it, it's difficult to get a read on it. And so as you heard your friend say that it doesn't seem like they fully know the magical properties of this item, you can start to understand why. You can definitely tell that there is some sort of divination and enchantment magic happening for sure, but it's almost as if it has some sort of, not necessarily a schools of magic, but magical properties that you've never encountered before. So, doesn't mean that you might not learn of them in the future, but in your training, which again, you are an elf, so you've done a lot of training, had lots of years to learn, you've never quite encountered magic quite like this.
What am I seeing around the room with detect magic?
Oh, and with the rest of it, you're just getting like pings of everything. Every single display case has some sort of magic going on, whether it's the item itself, or like you can tell that there are magical locks and spells in order to keep everything in. So just the whole room is a giant magical beacon if you start to like zoom out and not focus in on this item itself.
Got it. Okay. Tiffany's gonna walk over to the rest of her company. Okay, so the magic item here, the diadem, it's pretty magic. Got some magic stuff I don't know in there. Look, it says there on that there plaque. Uh, Also, each one of these cases have both the magical and non-magical, it seems, locks on them. So, uh, the diadem sure is safe in there, isn't it? Ha. Nudges giant minotaur.
I can't imagine how bizarre it is for Calvin to work for a Minotaur and a Loxodon that are both 3 times his size.
I lean down to Hyman's ear. Yeah, it is. I'm worried about. I lean down into Kaiman's ear and say, "Yeah, it is. It's weird. I'm terrified of getting stepped on like all the time."
That's why he's on your
Well,
shoulder.
at least when you're up there, the only thing you have to
That's why.
worry
That's
about is
why I.
getting.
Oh.
All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to do in this room? Or what's your plan next? You've scoped it out as you needed to.
I think.
You said there were folks going like in and out of this door back here.
Mhm.
Is there?
Yeah.
And we see like what basically as they're going in and out, I want to see what's on the other side of the door. Knowing I'm only going to get what's visible from the door frame.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, double 17s plus 4, 21.
You as you guys are having this conversation and you're getting the update on all of the magic that's in this room, you start paying attention to that door, and you realize that every time the door opens, it's different. So you might open it and see another room that looks very similar to this, but you see a lot more weaponry. And and the door closes behind it, and you open the door again, and you see that Egyptian exhibit that you've been to like a million times and you went to go to when you were in school. And you close the door. And then the next time it's different again. And you understand that the doors are probably magically enchanted to take the person to the next exhibit that they would like to go to. Of course, depending on what pass they have.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. So, but it doesn't necessarily. It looks like that door probably leads to another exhibit.
Yes, certainly
Okay.
another exhibit from what you can tell.
Okay, great. Okay, I think
We
I'm good in
see
this.
any staff pass through those doors?
Give me a perception check. Or I'll let you also give me a retroactive history check as well if you were trying to see what you noticed while you were enchanting.
We'll do the perception.
Ready? With it?
Oh, that's not great. Oh, my
You have
history was
advantage.
better. Oh well, I rolled with advantage. I only got a 13 on perception.
You maybe saw one staff member. You did see one of the security guards that swapped out. You think he'd probably break time. But that's the only person that you know for certain that passed through that was a staff member of the Field Museum.
Did it like take them to like a staff back area as the door opened up with that, or did I not see?
With a 13, you didn't get a good look. It looked like it maybe had like kind of a boring break room area is what you think you saw, just like a basic crappy overhead lighting and like an old table that's seen better days and some chairs with a vending machine in the corner.
Oh golly, I think I saw Lars back there.
Or did you?
I am going to. I would like to keep an eye out for the next time a staff member comes into or through this room.
Okay. And how long are you guys willing to wait for that to occur?
15
patient.
minutes maybe, and then we'll reassess if no one's coming through.
It's just asking. After about 10 minutes, the door behind you opens and you see a member of staff. She's just wearing like, khakis and a Field Museum t-shirt. And you see her kind of walking backwards, and she's got a small tour group that she's speaking to. They each have like headphones in, and she's got a little headpiece so she can speak directly to them over all of the noise of everybody in here. And she's just kind of very expertly, honestly, walking pretty much entirely backwards through this room to point certain things out.
Okay.
But that doorway looked like it came from another hall. They were coming from the Egyptian exhibit, is what you saw when that door opened.
Okay.
Can I spill some of the tinder out of my tinder box into her path so I get like a footprint of her?
Give
A
me a sleight of
footprint of
hand
her
check.
shoe?
Sure.
I'm gonna let you slide down for this.
Oh, I got advantage. Didn't help. 5.
Oh, buddy.
I mean, you drop it, that's for certain. But this is, a seasoned employee. She's done this a long time. And so she definitely caught whatever you dropped out the corner of her eye. And she wasn't really paying attention to what you dropped, but she was able to just kind of, don't step on that. and step out of the way. She's probably used to piles of poo from babies and pee and weird things that happen. She doesn't want to step in it.
Can't say I blame her.
Not all parents believe in diapers. There's this thing called elimination communication. And so some people just let their kids run around without a diaper and they don't have any freaking manners and they just go. Not saying that about all EC parents. I apologize.
That is unfortunately a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it
As
would
someone
be
who
hard
has
to have
cleaned poo
diapers
out of
if
the
it
place
was.
before where she worked, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Places where people were not supposed to be. Retail sucks.
Who looks at on wear diapers or not? Do they make diapers big enough for y'all?
My parents had the common decency to own a wand of prestidigitation, so that was never an issue.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I've seen one that just used a
Uh,
curtain.
Straight up just a
I would-
giant, king size
Just
bed
hide it.
sheet.
Yeah.
I would like to get us back on track and go, and I would like to approach this tour guide and try and get her attention and just say, "Excuse me, I have a couple of questions about the exhibit. If you could spare me a moment." And I would also like to
She
cast Charm Person on her when I do this.
Okay. That's a save, right? For her?
Yes, it is a Wisdom saving throw.
She looks at you, just kind of gives that customer service smile, and says, and you can hear her say in her headset, "Go ahead and take a moment to take a look throughout the room. Let me know if there's any pieces that you would like any more information on." And the group scatters from before her, and she turns to you and as you're casting that spell, so she gets a little bit friendlier. The fake smile is less fake customer service person. And she looks at you and says, yes, what are the questions that you had?
And I would like to, I want to kind of lead her over to the display and kind of into the crowd a little bit, just asking questions about, for an item that is as old as it is, how were the craftspeople able to get this type of cut on a gem with such limited technology of the time? And is, just making conversation, asking questions about its history, and speculating on its abilities. And I want to try and pick her. I want to try and steal her employee badge.
Okay. She, you guys are chit-chatting and she's explaining, well, again, it's a very ancient piece. There's a lot that we still don't know about it, but it's always been so renowned for the fact that it stays so, in such perfect condition. There's thoughts that it was probably first created, and she goes on of when she thinks it was when the mystery begins for this. Go ahead and give me your sleight of hand check.
That is a 16.
Okay. You get her started and she tells you the whole story of what she knows, which granted is not much because she's she knows her script pretty well, but you don't get the sense that she's the actual person who unearthed it and knows the deep research on it.
Yeah, she's a tour guide, not a researcher.
Yes. And you are successfully able to describe it for me. Actually, which appendage do you use to pick her pocket?
Oh, I definitely. So, have you ever seen uh YouTube videos or like documentaries about pickpockets, and it's all about misdirection. And someone will come up to you and they'll shake your hand and they'll squeeze your hand so you're focused on that sensation, but you're not really focused on their other hand unclasping your watch. Or they'll put your arm around you to like grab your other arm so you're focused on that sensation rather than their other hand reaching into a coat pocket. I am absolutely doing all of that, but my other hand is absolutely my trunk.
Okay. Okay, figured. Just wanted to verify. But yes, you are able to misdirect and distract her enough that your trunk is able to just kind of pull the clip um right off of her belt loop there.
Dustin, did you roll for that yet?
I did.
Okay, never mind.
So
Uh,
so you
right
can
around that.
save that portent.
Okay.
Unless there's a
Right around that.
witness that would have seen and you want to give it to me anyway.
No, there's enough chaos and people moving around in here that no, nobody sees you. Right about that moment, some of the people from the tour start to kind of meander closer to her, and she realizes that it seems like they're probably done glancing around, and she's got to get back to the group that she's supposed to be in charge of. And she says, "Well, do you have any other questions? Then you can always feel free to book a tour with the museum and get a personalized experience. They can always do that at the front desk. Have a good day, sir." And she
Thank you, and you
heads
as
back to
well.
her group, and
Um,
she goes back to her job.
I don't know if it'll come up again, but uh, that woman is charmed by me for the next hour.
She thinks that you are just so nice
Yeah,
and had such great questions. Such a gentleman. Yes.
actually taking an interest in what she has to say and is polite and has a shred of human decency, which you don't get nearly enough in this day and age.
No, not when you work any sort of these surface roles. So you were like probably the first really nice person to her today, and so it actually was a bright spot in her day thus far.
Cool. I'm gonna feel bad later.
My
Yeah,
ploy
well.
is working. As Dustin knows, I enjoy making my players feel bad about the things that they do. Moral quandaries are my favorite. All right, so you have cased out the room. You've got an employee badge. What are your next steps? At this point, by the time you got downtown and you dealt with traffic, and you stood in line and you've been in here for honestly probably close to an hour at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's now about 4-ish. So you know the museum's going to close in just a couple of hours, and you know that you do have that little bit of a gift that'll be waiting for you in terms of an door that happened to be unlocked, maybe.
An appointment. Um, is there is there a library branch nearby? Because I want to basically go do some Googling.
Yes, there's definitely the Chicago Public Library system is very large. So yes, there is one relatively close by.
Before we leave, before we have left, I would like to have uh, Tiffany just carries around like piece of pocket candy because everyone should carry around pocket candy. But she just tosses a piece of pocket candy into one of the trash cans in the gem room.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure that'll come back to bite me in the ass, but all right, you do that thing.
Yep.
Wizards. All right, let's go to the
Wizards.
library.
Let's go to the library. Let's all go to the library.
I
Dustin,
don't
do
know
you
which
share
library
that
is closest to Springfield
you swiped that card?
So when the one of the last things I do before we is I while finishing my conversation with this tour guide, I make sure to ask where their next room is. And being ever the gentleman, I opened the door to that room for her so that she doesn't try to open that door on her own and the system reads that she doesn't have her badge.
Very kind of you. You go ahead and open the door, and you see this room you guys haven't quite noticed thus far. You open the door, and you are met with just a wall of water, and you see what looks like a dark cave-like system with some glowing lights. Um, and everyone uh, steps into the water itself. And there is a sign that kind of appears now that you've opened that door that says, "Meet live bloodsuckers in their natural habitat. Our magical underwater exhibit allows you to breathe as if you were on land while still allowing you an up close and personal view of over a dozen different types of leeches and their kin."
I close the door.
Absolutely not. I want nothing to do with that.
um, but yeah,
I used to use those on sick people back in my town.
So yeah, once the tour guide is gone, and we are leaving, I do explain that if we get into any trouble, I do have an employee badge that might help us out a little bit.
Good job.
I'm gonna do something with that, but first, Tiffany makes a joke. Well, if I wanted to see bloodsuckers underwater, I'd just wait 100 years for the shorelines to rise above DC.
This is
Oh
why
my
Hey, well,
modern fantasies are fun.
god.
give me that there pass. I'm gonna do something with it here. And
Do you want to
Tiffany,
do that
uh,
not here?
have we left?
We'll do it in the
No.
stacks at the
Yeah.
Are we on
library.
our way to
Yeah.
the? Okay.
Yeah, you guys head over to, I don't know which of the
The
library
closest
branches is
library
closest to the
branch.
Meal Museum, but yes, closest library branch. And it is a public library, so you can just get in, go for it. And so as you guys are, settling into wherever you guys would like to start researching, yes, you can go ahead and start casting whatever it is you would like to cast. I'm going
Here we
to
go.
say that, hopefully you're being a polite Canadian and keeping your voice down. It is a library as you're casting.
Oh yeah, if there's one thing I'm known for, it's controlling the volume of my voice. Uh,
That's the
so
most sarcastic thing I've ever heard you say.
Tiffany is going to cast non-detection on the uh, uh, access card, the employee card. For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination magic. The target can be a willing creature or a place or an object no larger than 10 feet in any dimension. The target cannot be targeted by any divination magic or perceived through any magical scrying sensors. Will last for 8 hours, not concentration.
Okay.
So,
And you're
just in
specifically
case,
doing that on the card.
on the card, just in case she's like, oh fuck, I lost my card. Let me scry for it. Bitch, not gonna happen.
All right. Okay, you guys are in the library. What would you like to research?
I want to see if there are any well, the last thing I wanted to do before we left was just swipe a map of the Field Museum so we have
Oh,
it.
yeah. There's about 1 million of those. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I figured.
those are everywhere.
Yeah.
I figured. But just to get if we can get blueprints or layouts or basically any kind of information on what the uh backstage of the Field Museum kind of looks like so I can start building a map of it in my brain.
Okay. Um, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Oh, good. 13.
You do find a lot of information on the Field Museum. You're in a library in Chicago. We're very proud of our museums. We've got lots of problems, but we've got good museums. Um, and you see some of the history of the museum. You find out who some of the historical what's the term I'm looking for, like council members that run the museum, for lack of a better term. You don't find like a map of it or anything that tells you like the inside architecture. You get the architectural history because it is a prominent building of when it was built, but you don't get anything that shows you the actual inside layout of it. You did
Okay.
find one blurb that did point out that to the effect of like the various arcanists that work at the museum do use their varying skills to adapt the building to what is necessary for them to be able to best show off its wares. So there's probably some flexibility in what it looks like inside.
Oh boy. Okay.
Uh, no, it probably wouldn't be in a library. I was going to ask if there were any religious ties to the item, but that's probably not common knowledge. That would be in a library.
I
You could
mean,
look up the item itself, like just history on the item. That might tell you something if you want to
Sure.
look. Yeah, give me a investigation check.
Investigation 17.
Okay. You do find a book that talks, was specifically written about the mystery of the Sage Diadem. And it's kind of a meaty book, and it's definitely written as like a scholarly tome, not a narrative. So it's not like the most fun read you've ever gotten through. What in particular are you looking for as you like flip through trying to just pick out keywords?
Uh, if it has any like native protections like the item itself, rather than just like what you would put it in or like what it's made out of.
From what you can tell, this is a very, very old item that's been used in various different religious ceremonies in lots of different cultures over time as it's been won in a war, stolen, moved around, and things like that. You aren't able to tell exactly because of the mystery of a lot of its magical properties. You don't know 100% for certain what it's capable of, but you do see tales of it being able to augment a magician's powers in some way, shape, or form. So it definitely has its own magical properties, but again, no one it was lost for so long that there's only so long that the modern world has had it to be able to analyze it. And in ancient times, though there's various different levels of understanding of magic and different schools of magic depending on each culture's history, the focus was them using it more as almost an arcane focus is how they used it, of just drawing upon its power.
Okay.
But
That makes sense.
that's kind of how it was used historically.
All right.
Anything else you guys would like to learn at the library? Does anyone have any overdue books that you need to return?
no.
You're supposed to return those?
Yeah.
I
Oh.
was gonna say, please. All of my books were returned a week ago.
Please, I've never returned a library book.
You ever taken out a library book? Because that's the first step.
Yes. I'm very smart, I'll have you know.
I mean, you're talking to the Minotaur with +0 intelligence. It's fine.
An elephant
They
never
have things other than books.
forgets.
They have picture books.
Yeah, there's picture books. There's, things that have, auditory experiences, things that you can watch as well. Not everyone has to
Exactly.
read.
Mhm.
All right. By the time you guys got to the library and did your research, it is about 6 o'clock now. So the library or the library is not closed. The Field Museum is closing up shop, as you know. So your window
Sounds
is
like we need
is
to
open.
head back in that direction then.
Yeah, well, I mean, we should probably take our time. It'll probably be another hour before the place is actually cleared out.
That's true. That's true.
Deep dish.
So dinner.
Yeah,
Look,
we.
one track
You're
mind.
getting
It's
a deep
food.
dish pizza? Okay. I'm going to be divisive, and I'm going to say you get Luminati's because it is the best. Sorry, Giordano's. You're delicious too, but Lou's is better. And go ahead and get your. Whoa! Did I make someone angry? I'm sorry.
Company does not eat pizza before a fucking heist. She's like, nope. This is way too heavy, way too much sauce. I'm gonna go get a Chicago dog, 7 toppings, no ketchup.
Yeah, no ketchup. No. All right, you guys grab your dinner from your various classic Chicago places, and about 6:45, 6:50, you guys realize you were able to find a place to eat outside with a view of the library, and about that time you haven't really seen as much trickle out. It's been pretty
The
dead.
museum, right?
What did I say?
You said the library.
Library. That's why I asked.
Museum. Yes, you are close to the museum, and you've realized that it's probably been about 5, almost 10 minutes since you've seen a person trickle out.
Okay.
All right. Did we get information on where this open door is from Ainsley?
Uh, Ainsley
I call
did not tell
Amesley.
you.
I call Amesley on my eye stone.
Yes. You eye stone him. Um, and he says, yeah. Did you guys get in? Did you guys get in?
No, where's the door, Amesley? Which
Oh,
door
like
is
it's the
unlocked?
door. The door.
The front door?
Yeah, that's the easiest one.
I hang up on him. I don't even know what to say.
All right.
Oh boy. The front door.
Apparently, Amesley unlocked the front door. That's not how we're getting in.
Okay. How are we getting in, good sir?
We're finding a different
Wait,
door.
I do. Well, what if we split up? Because if the front door is open, I could always go in the front door and just give it a. Oh, sorry, the door was open. I didn't realize y'all were closed. If I do
Yeah.
get caught.
Um,
And how do we meet you inside? Or
Yeah.
is that or is
Have we
that
not
an us
gotten that far
problem?
yet?
Well, that seems like a you thing.
Rhodes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
When I had opened the door leading to the bloodsuckers for that tour guide, how did that actually work? Do I just think about the room I want to go to and the system reads what my badge is allowed to take me to and that's where it goes? Or is there something else
Give
that
me
happens?
give me an Arcana check.
I'm out of advantages. So
Oh
I've
no.
got I can make it real quiet if we need to smash in somewhere.
Oh, I'm good at that. It'd probably set off alarms though.
that is a 10.
You get the idea that it's definitely tied to the past that you had, but you're not sure of exactly how the magic works. It's not something that you've studied in before, to really know anything more in depth. You've got your theories, but you're not certain.
Okay.
Hey, Timpani, can't you learn more about magic items? figure out things how
Oh, yeah, I sure
they
could
work?
if I had the magic item near me.
Oh, do you mean the pass?
Why don't we can we take a lap around the building? Because I'm sure that there are like basically key swipers or card swipers that will
There's got to
let
be an
you
employee
into
entrance.
other
Yeah.
doors. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like places only employees can get into when swiping their card.
Yeah, or like, the receiving dock near the food court.
Yeah.
All right. You guys take the long trek around this giant effing building.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you aiming to be stealthy or are you just casually strolling?
Don't want to arouse suspicion, just casually.
Yeah,
Walking about.
I think casually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
mean, we're
guys
not doing
walk.
anything wrong going for a walk.
You're not. You're not. And it's a beautiful area over there. It's lovely. Um, you guys walk around the building. As I said, it's a big building. Um, so it takes a little bit of time. You don't see anyone else exit the building in all the time that you're walking around it. So you guys do feel fairly confident that everyone is pretty much outside, which is a good sign for you and what you're about to get up to. After about getting about 2/3 of the way around the building, you do find a side entrance that has what looks like a magical stone that is like kind of embedded into the wall that just from living in this world is essentially a card reader, for lack of a better term. You did try at the dock doors, but clearly this employee did not have access to like the dock areas, so that didn't work out for you. But you do find another door on this side of the building that is facing at least like away from the parking lot and where most of the traffic is.
Okay.
You give it a shot.
Um, yeah, unless somebody has a better idea.
I
I just
mean,
want to
unless
point
you want
out
me to
that
bash it in.
we have a really good exit. So when in doubt, we can just go
Yep.
fast and loud.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I also
You
like not getting arrested.
Well,
So
that's the plan. But
things
if
don't
it's
always go according to plan.
if it's get arrested or blow some stuff up, I would rather blow some stuff up.
Right.
I mean, this is valid, yes.
All right. You guys touch the employee's badge to the card reader, and after a moment, it glows a green color, and you hear the lock disengage.
I open the door and usher everyone inside before closing the door behind me.
Mr. E. Usher.
Yes.
You head inside, and you see what to um one of you looks kind of familiar. It looks like a crappy break room, drab, hasn't been updated in probably several decades, with a couple of vending machines for, sodas, snacks, chips, things like that.
You guys want coffee? I was going to put on a pot. That. Oh,
My
sorry.
God,
Sorry,
yes.
have it. Sorry, have it.
Maybe on
um,
our way out.
but we're taking a different door out. Anyway, um, so if we there's got to be another like inner door in this room, right? That would
Yes.
potentially lead to any of the other exhibits
There is a door on the other side of the
or
room.
room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any employee
Okay.
lockers in this break room?
Give me a perception check.
13.
You do not see employee lockers in the break room, unfortunately.
want to see if they had any stuff to help us.
Sure, to help you.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's any I'm trying to, I'm thinking about a couple of things because part of me is like, just go get the damn thing, and the other part of me is like, nope, there were security cameras, which means there's probably someone watching them. So we either need to take care of the security cameras or take care of the people watching the monitors.
You can go ahead and give me a perception check if you'd like to see if there are security cameras in this room.
Sure, I think this is my last advantage. Nice. What did we say it was? Perception?
Yeah, perception.
Okay, 22.
Okay. You look around and you actually don't see a security camera in this room.
Okay. But there were some in the other room, so presumably, of course, I don't know if tour guide could get into the security room.
Maybe.
Well, only one way to find out. I go up to the other door leading out of this room. I think about the security office because that's where I would like to go, and I crack the door open and peek through.
Okay. You step up, think real hard. The door does open, but you are met with the very familiar to you because you were just there a few hours ago main entry hall of the Field Museum.
I close the door
Okay.
and think about some innocuous room like a bathroom and open the door again.
You think of a bathroom, open the door again, and you still see the entry hall.
I try it one more time, thinking
Okay.
about the specific exhibit that Hall of Gems.
All of gems. Okay. You think of that, you close the door, think real hard, open the door, and you see once again the entry hall.
Okay. So this door is
This
either,
just takes us to the entry hall.
yeah, it's either not magical at all or I'm grossly misinterpreting the way that one moves from room to room.
Hey, bud, how you doing there? Because you just opened and closed that door 3 times to the same room. Are you trying to do something here? Or?
Oh, you're trying to be quiet. You're just slamming the door.
I'm doing science.
Okay.
Are you guys
Wait, we
staying
do
in
science
the?
now too?
Yes.
You do everything, whatever
Is
you're hired to do.
yeah.
I guess
Everything
that's
is
the life of an
science.
intern.
No one says the science is sound.
Yeah.
Are you guys heading to the main entry hall, or are you going to stay in the break room for now?
I mean,
Uh,
with no other way out of this room, I guess the entry hall is where we go.
yeah. And is it dark in here? Like, have they like turned out most of the lights?
Every time you moved, there are motion sensor activated lights that turn on.
Of course,
Hate that. Okay.
So you guys
Okay.
are in the entryway. Again, you were here earlier, so you do see, oh, okay, that's where there's some little like stands to buy food and some tables to eat and a few things that are on display. And of course, the oh so classic Sue sitting in the back of the room as well. And there are two doorways there. You guys originally went down the south doorway when you first arrived. That got you to the Hall of Gems.
I'm sorry. Say that last bit one more time. Where was that door to get us to the Hall of
The
Gems?
one that's in the south. That's the door that you guys took when you guys came this afternoon, and that is the door that you went into that took you, at least in that moment, to the Hall of Gems.
Okay. Um, first I make a quick perception check to see if there's anybody else walking or moving around in this room. And that is a 17.
Do we think there's
Uh,
anything in? Go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead. You can ask your question. Go for it.
I was just going to ask if we think there's anything invisible in this room.
If you've got a spell that you think will tell you, you can go ahead and cast it. With the 17, you do not see anybody moving around. Everything looks like it's been, closed up, for the day. Tables are cleared off, all of that.
Before we go any further, let me do this real quick. And she sits down in the break room and will ritual cast detect magic.
And you're
Uh,
casting it. Sorry. Yeah.
if you start casting that as a ritual, I am going to say something that we absolutely do not have time for a ritual like that.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Then she instead uses a spell slot and detect magic.
And are you trying to do that on stuff inside of the break room, or you're trying to do that like for this main entryway?
Well, it's just a 30 feet aura around me, so
Yeah.
it would walk with me as we go.
So you're going to take it with you as you go. Okay, just wanted to understand what the intent
Easy.
was. So when you were in the break room, you didn't get anything. It was boring. Other than like where that keypad was on the other side of the wall there. As you move into the main entry hall, once again, you do get a ton of magical signatures. Because again, there are things on display here. So again, you're getting similar things like, oh, there's some sort of magical lock on that display case. Makes sense to me. There's even like residual magical energy coming off of the like taxidermied unicorn that's sitting in, one part of the room. So yes, there's lots of various different schools of magic that you're getting from each of the ancient objects that are on display.
I am like keeping an eye out for any of the like motion sensor lights to flick on just in case there are like security guards or whoever here.
Yeah, right now only the lights, like these two kind of near you guys at the top
Okay.
and bottom. Those are the ones that are on at the moment. But what's your passive perception?
14.
Okay. And I'm so sorry. Calvin was doing something as well. What was the spell that you might want to cast in order to see if there's invisible stuff?
I was gonna try and cast Fairy Fire at like the center point between Sue and the 3 cases, just to see if there's any sort of like invisible sensors that could be protecting the exhibits now that there aren't guards. That would be
Okay.
invisible.
I like that. So okay, go if you don't mind going to where exactly you want to cast it, so I can see where the like 20-foot
It'll be
cube
like
is. Wanna...
it'll be centered like
Okay.
here. So try and
Okay.
connect both of them if I can.
Gotcha.
If I can't, I'll just do Sue.
That's fine. You cast that. It has a 20-foot, 20-foot cube.
Cube.
And Sue is now extremely sparkly and glittery and fabulous. But you don't see anything that you don't see the fairy fire attached to anything that you didn't see present before. So it's on the display cases, it's on the ground everywhere now. Magic, craft herpes essentially is now just on everything.
Yeah, and then I want to drop the concentration on that to not draw too much attention to it. Just wanted to check.
All right. And Shay, your character does realize like those other lights did turn on once your party started to a member of your party started to move kind of in that direction, and there was movement from the fairy fire, and those lights themselves, those lights did activate just from the goings on.
Hate this. Hate this.
Um,
When in doubt, goring rush.
yeah, I guess.
What?
I mean, if the
That's your ability.
Yeah, I know.
When in doubt, just run
Do
in.
what?
I don't
Do
know.
what with it?
I don't know. You're the barbarian. Figure.
Okay.
do what you do
What are you
best.
trying to break?
I'm not trying to
What?
break anything right now.
Why not? You're a barbarian. With
Because
all at this point, with all of the lights on, I am just going to start making my way. I'm gonna make my way towards the wall, and I'm just gonna hug the wall.
yeah, I was thinking about hugging the wall and trying to.
And I'm just gonna
Okay.
start making my way down.
All right. Go ahead and assume this is with the intent of being quiet. So go ahead and give me a stealth
Yeah.
check. Or maybe not just quiet, but just, unobtrusive.
Okay.
Incognito.
That is a 13 for me.
14.
17 for me.
Natural 20.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. You guys are fairly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because I'm sure that like this light is about to turn on as we walk by it. So as soon as I want to have a coin in my hand to basically chuck across the room to light the other one up as well.
Okay.
So that way they can't tell what side we're on.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna make you roll for something just getting to the other side of the room. Like
I am a
I trust in your
barbarian. That
ability to
coin
do that.
goes across the room.
Yeah. So you go ahead and do that, and you guys essentially end up activating both lights at the same time. You are very quiet. If you guys didn't know that the other was there, you wouldn't be able to tell that there was anybody walking through this room, but you guys know each other, even the intern, well enough to be able to track each other's movements. But you are very quiet as you head across this back wall and head over. What is the intent of where you guys are heading?
Are we heading straight to the
Yeah,
gem room?
I'm trying to get into that exhibit.
Yeah.
So I'm headed towards that door with the tour guide's badge, and wanting to go into that exhibit. I'm hoping at least that door is going to work because I've seen it work like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the door's over here.
Right.
So yeah, I try and open the door to that exhibit. Rhodes, I think you muted yourself.
Oh, I did. So I didn't want to have you guys hear me slurp as I drank my water. Just trying to be polite. You open the door, and it is not the Hall of Gems. It is a different hall that you see that seems to have a bunch of things of East Asian origin. So you think that it is the Chinese exhibit that you remember reading about earlier.
You have no idea how these doors work, do you?
You can give me another Arcana check if you want to
Yeah.
try again. Now that you've tried them a few times.
Yeah, I've got a theory now.
It's my last advantage roll from that first one. Ugh. A 2 and a 3. A total of 10 Arcana.
16.
Okay. So you guys are obviously working together to try to figure this out. And kind of opening the door and trying the other doorways before you get the idea that Bogey's theory his original theory was probably close, that it's a matter of having the right access and the intent of where you want to go. But the museum is shut down for the day. And so that magical feature is essentially turned off for the evening.
That
They
makes
shut
sense.
everything down.
Got it. Well,
All right.
good thing we planned for this. And
I pulled my map out.
You look at the map, which is very good call to grab. And you see that the way that the layout is listed, if you're going to go in the optimal order, it would take you from the entry hall to this to Tang Hall, which is the exhibit on the Chinese history, bloodsuckers, the first rulers of Europe, and then to the crowning jewel, the Hall of Gems.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we've got to go through this like an IKEA. You got to snake your way through all the departments.
Unless you guys can figure out a way to reactivate the magic that has been turned off for the evening, that is the pathway.
And I look around the room. It looks like there's this door here. There is a door up here on the other side of Sue.
Mhm.
And that is it.
That is it. Everything else is mainly just big, open windows with lots of natural light that come in through the day. So looking at the map that you guys have, you see that the other doorway takes you to the higher package set of exhibit halls that you guys did not pay for. At least didn't pay for originally.
Okay.
Originally.
I mean, you didn't pay for anything
Okay.
right now, so
I
How
am
many
going.
exhibits were there? Sorry, how many like second tier exhibits were there?
There are an additional 3 in the second tier. You can see from your map that all of them, no matter which way you take, ends at the Hall of Gems so that they can show off this diadem that they're so proud of. So either path leads to the Hall of Gems, but the other path has more exhibits, more expensive. It's going to take you more time if you go that way as well.
Okay.
Probably more security too. So let's just go through
Before we
the ones we know.
Before we go through, I want to run back to the service desk.
Mhm.
I'm going to run back over here, and I want to make an investigation check to see if there are any buttons or levers or anything like that.
Okay. Just any button or lever, or are you trying to have a button or lever that does a particular thing?
I mean, yes. Both of those.
I mean, I'll give you without a perception check. There are some buttons and levers.
Okay, do any of them have labels on them?
Now go ahead and give me the investigation or perception check to understand what the levers do.
Okay. Perception is probably gonna be better for me, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. So it was I got a natural 1 for a total of 6.
Oh.
Or
But
or if I'm relying on my keen smell, that's a 22.
Or your
wife
wife
just
just gave you
donated a
an
bunch of money.
advantage.
So I'm just gonna I'm gonna re-roll it because that's more fair. Thanks, wife. That is a 17.
Okay. So you kind of like you have to squat down, almost like sit down because it's underneath the table, which is average. It's medium size height, let's say, build. So you got to kind of get down up close and personal to see. And you see that the buttons, the labels that used to be on there, are a little rubbed off. Probably been there a long time. People hitting them all day long. It's rubbed off. But when you've worked there for forever, like you know what all the buttons do. And so you do see ones that control the lights in this room, whether or not they're going to be motion censored, static on or static off. You see some buttons that would control the what's what I'm looking for? Some of the actual features in this room themselves. You curiosity, you push one, and then you can see one of the pillars that has a feature on it. It actually has like a little light show that turns on that makes it look interesting. And then you do see also a button that's next to like a little slot that dispenses. You see the one that dispenses the tickets themselves that you had before. And then you see another one that has another dispenser next to it. This one says Exhibit Room 2.
Um. All right. I'm sorry. Give me the spark notes on all of those again. Because there
The
were
only
a
ones that are
bunch.
interesting, the only one that's interesting, unless you want to make a light show of all of the different statues and things in here
No,
that people can like,
I
turn
know
on.
I don't want that one.
Yeah. Then you know you have the basic ticket one, or the ticket one, I should say, that will give you whatever kind of pass you had at that moment. And there's one that's labeled Exhibit Room 2 that looks like it would dispense something out of it. Those are the only ones that's not just like basic on-off switches for things inside this area.
Okay, but none of those other switches look like they would turn the door magic back on.
Not as far as you can tell. What's your intelligence?
My intelligence is 12 plus 1.
What's your wisdom?
My wisdom is plus 2.
Okay, so you're smarter than the average bear. You get the idea that the high level control of things, there's probably some sort of a control room that probably has that. So the front office staff is not the people who control whether or not the big magic is occurring.
Right. And that is, as far as I can tell, that is a closed system outside the exhibit system.
As far as you can tell. Yeah.
All right. In that case, I am going to print 2 badges, one regular badge and one fancy badge.
All right, you print the fancy badge. Oh, sorry, one of each badge.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got those now in your hand. You can take either door that you would like. But really, you had an employee badge, so you already could have done that. But okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just covering my bases at this point.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Ruds, I'd like to do something. Let me know if and how I can do it. I'd like to take the map that whatever Shay's character's name had, and do a like deductive reasoning of, okay, here's what the map is showing us of this building. What isn't it showing, to try to suss out where the security room could be.
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence saving throw? What's my saving throw? It's a +7. Okay. And before I do that, does my portent cover saving throws?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, your portents
Um,
can be used for any D20 roll.
yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my 17. So that is a 17 plus 7, 24.
Okay. You take a look at this map and you remember what you researched as well at the library. And at the library, you learned that the various types of magicians and whatnot that run this place, change the layout as necessary in order to create these exhibits. And so you look at it, and the map itself is showing you what looks to be the footprint of the building, but on one floor. This is a very tall building. Obviously, the entry hall is super tall. The other rooms did not have quite as tall ceilings. They had very tall ceilings for large-sized creatures that also live in this society, but the ceilings were not quite as tall. So you reasonably assume that there are more rooms on a second floor. That's probably where maybe some of the more office staff work, not the tour guides, but the actual researchers that work here. That may be where some of the collections are, quite possibly where the security room and all of that is as well, just on a different floor.
Remind me, that main entrance hallway, you can see the additional levels above, right?
You can see that there are additional levels. You can't see into any of those rooms at the moment, but you can see like what looks to be a almost like a outer walkway where people might go from room to room up there.
Company is going to use a charge of her Northern Canadian elf and do a starlight step, which is 30 foot, which I hope would get me to the second level.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by Northern Canadian elf. I'm sorry. Starlight Step. Okay. I'm not familiar with this elf, so I need to refamiliarize myself with this.
It's Misty Step.
It's just Misty Step.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need. Fancy Misty Step. Canadian Misty Step. Got it. So you Canadian up there, and yes, you are on the second floor now.
Hey.
Okay, everyone's just leaving, I guess.
Well, hold on. I'm going to take out the hempen rope from my adventurer's pack and tie the rope to the banister and let it down to the rest of the group. I don't know if we need to be up here, but if we're looking for that security room, it's going to be up here.
But we could just we could just go. Can we just go?
Well, so here's my thought. Once we get into that room with the gem, how the gosh darn thing do we get that thing open without finding the security room to shut off the security first?
Oh, that I already have a plan for.
I just pulled my bat out.
They both at the same time are like, I've got a plan for that. Two very different plans.
One of us pulls out a baseball bat, the other one pulls out a ukulele.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this rope here. Well, let
That's
me do
probably
this
fine.
first. And she slides down it, very whimsically. Is like, we'll leave this here just in case we need it again, since you two don't seem like you should ever fly. I don't know if that's offensive or not, but
And do you expect
Sorry, so
either of
sorry.
us to climb a rope?
I was gonna wait for one of them to get up, and then I would just hold on. At the end, they would just pick me
Yeah, I
up.
was gonna say I'll just put the intern on my shoulders. Anyway, let's just go through this door.
All right. So you have a backup plan of getting to the second floor if you need to. But the plan at the moment is to, yes, if you want to make the elephant man climb a rope. But if not, the plan is to go through the doors and then smash open stuff.
Elephant Man
Yes.
isn't climbing any rope. If that's the security office, then you might as well turn off or on whatever the necessary switch is.
I will
we can make
throw
a
you
quick
like a
trip of
javelin
this.
if I have to, but I don't. Okay, through the door.
Through the door, then.
Through the door. All right. What? Why is my map being weird? Or is Foundry being weird for me? What is it
Foundried.
doing? Foundried! 1 second. Let me fight with it. What in the ever-loving heck?
I am going to run to the restroom.
It says I cannot switch scenes until resources finish loading.
What in the ever-loving?
We've got the room versus the outside loaded.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have a background image though.
Okay, what is happening, Foundry? You were just being so good. What are you doing? Okay. All right, we're gonna go with the classic turn it off and turn it back on. So while I turn it off and turn it back on, if anybody else needs to run to the washroom or get a drink of water, you are welcome to do that. Since we are pretty much at the midway point anyway, so potty breaks make sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Disconnect them, and we're gonna turn it off and turn it back on. Okay. While I am trying not to be foundried, just as a reminder to anyone watching, we are raising money for Extra Life, which supports Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So if you would like to donate, you can, and you can influence the game. Thus far, the team has gotten a lot of advantages to themselves, and they also have 2 lair actions that they can activate when they need to as well. So whenever they feel they need a little bit of help, they can let me know, and I will be happy to tell them their options of how they might be able to get help.
I had assumed that
Think
the
it is
lair actions were on your side and that they were gonna hurt us.
No, these are lair actions for helping you. There's nothing that helps the DM that we did this time. It's all helping you guys. It's fine, whatever. Okay, I think Foundry has decided to work now. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
I can see mine.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it appears to be working for me as well.
You? Foundry. My computer. It didn't give me a weird message saying, oh, wait. Oh, I do see a error message on the log of stuff that I don't understand because it's code. But okay, yep, something went wrong. Just needed to turn off and on again and it worked. Cool. Cool.
Hooray!
All right. We are halfway through, guys. Remember to everyone watching that we are doing this from somehow 12 to 12. Actually, you know what? That's not as bad. Usually it's a lot longer than that. So
Yeah, usually it's twice that. And then
I
some.
know. I'm just an old person. But yes, we will be streaming for quite a bit longer for the rest of today in Central Standard Time. So if you have to hop away, you can always hop back on in the evening and continue to watch and support. We appreciate everyone that's able to do so. Donations, sharing it, badgering your friends and family into donating for a good cause. For a good
Yeah.
cause is always appreciated. And hey, remember, like the year is almost over, so if you want to like write off something on your taxes, this
Yeah.
counts as a tax write-off. Just saying.
That is very true.
Yeah, yeah. And stick it to the man and help sick kids at the same time. Best of both worlds.
Did we ever explain how the 3 sessions work? That
No.
we're all linked?
No.
That'd be a
We
great
No,
time.
no, guess I didn't.
Well,
Dustin was supposed to make sure that I covered anything that needed to be covered.
well, we have time now.
No.
Yes.
It's too late now. But yeah, this 12-hour game is being presented in 3 pieces. So this is Act 1 at 4 o'clock Central Time. We will pick up with Act 2 that I will be running, and then at 8 o'clock this evening, we will play Act 3. If anyone remembers was watching our first Extra Life stream, Mike, who played Mike did 3 sessions in November.
Yeah,
He
he
was
yeah.
in the Bunkers and Badasses game. He was in the Dark Heresy game, and he was in the Goblin Quest game. And he is
Yes.
going to be our dungeon master for Act 3 at 8 o'clock. And Mike and I were talking a fair bit yesterday, and I am kicking myself just a little bit for not playing in that game because that is going to be a great big bucket of fun.
Yes. I'm looking forward to influencing that one.
Yeah.
But yes, all right. I think we've got everyone almost back, just getting settled. But uh, Shay and Violet, Foundry is now being cooperative. So if you would like
Wonderful.
to re-enter, um, so after our short commercial break, we are back, and the team has entered into the Tang Hall, which is an exhibit on the Tang Dynasty. You see several, you know, various different, cases that have different ornamental pieces, and it's beautiful in here with, East Asian artwork. And there's 4 large stones that kind of take up that center ish portion of the room with lots of other things on display kind of on the around the sides and the outskirts.
Um, I honestly, this is not the room we want to be in, so I'm not really that interested in exploring or investigating. So
You do
I'm
not care about this history. It's
nope.
fine, you heathen.
Clock the. I'd rather clock the lights and clock the security cameras just so we have an eye on them.
Sorry, I forgot to unpause it. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception or investigation check.
Okay, it's gonna be perception because otherwise I'm adding nothing. Oh, good. I'm not adding much anyway. 11.
Okay. Um, because you saw the cameras prior, it's pretty easy for you to pick them out. They tend to be kind of like just kind of stationed in the corners of the room, very basic, because you can get the bulk of the view of the room from having them stationed in
Mm-hmm.
each corner. That's all you notice at this point. Obviously, there's no one in here, there's no guards or anything like that.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm comfortable just kind of zipping through and heading to this next door.
Okay. Are you guys zipping through describe it. Is this a hasty jog? Are you trying to continue to be stealthy for the cameras? Like, what's the vibe that you guys are going for?
I'm strolling, and I say, "Man, this heist business is easy."
I
Or
am
just, like,
more or less
pop
trying
you
to
on
be
the head.
stealthy.
Okay. There's some
Yes.
stealth happening. Okay. So I will take stealth rolls if you guys are trying to be, trying to make sure the cameras don't pick up on you. Obviously, the lights do turn on, but if you're trying to make sure that maybe the cameras don't pick up on your movements, you're trying to find the, spots where it can't see you as well, or at the very least couldn't see your face, even if they could see you. Go ahead and give me those stealth rolls.
13 for me.
7.
And I'm sorry, was that Violet? Was that a 3? Did I see?
16
Oh,
out of
okay.
15.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Got it. I only saw one hand and I was like, ooh.
I think this works out really well. My halfling luck saved me from a 1, so I got a 12.
All right.
Oh.
So most of you make it across the room, but there is unfortunately wow, this works out entirely too well. A bull in a china shop amongst you.
Oops.
I did not plan that, but thank you, universe. And you, as you're trying to get through the room, you bump into one of the large stones. You bump into this one right here, the upper right one. And you feel it, wobble next
And
to
I
you, and
just
it's.
I don't
Yep.
necessarily want to touch it, but I want to make sure that if it falls, it's not going to be loud.
Can I at least start or be prepared to cast silence if it does fall?
I'll say that you could have prepared that, prepared that action as you walked in, and just in case, yeah, like you just gonna kind of be ready to do that in
Yeah.
case shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Considering what you're doing, I'm fine with that. So go ahead, and Shay, go ahead and give me like a sleight of hand as you're just trying to like be fast enough, or
Yep, this
yeah.
is fine. Nice. 19.
19. Okay. You are able to steady it, which is not a problem. High or low?
God. I
You are able to steady it, but you are successfully able to do so because you do end up touching it slightly as it leans to one side. And as you touch the object, you feel your hand almost like something was trying to touch you in response. And I'm going to need
this is
everyone to
weird.
roll initiative.
Yay!
Touch nothing but the lamp.
Look, man, I tried.
Yeah, in retrospect, you do definitely see that there's a sign that says, like, do not touch.
I mean, I tried.
This works. All right. Dustin, what you got? A yawn, apparently.
Apparently. I haven't had any caffeine today. I got a 14.
Okay. Spencer.
6.
6. All right. Shay. Was that a big 4? Okay.
Big 4.
Okay. And Violet.
17.
Hey. All right. So you feel, or one of your party feels the something almost had like reach out from inside the stone to touch his hand, and you guys are suddenly on alert here. At first, only because you're not sure what's going on. You don't know if suddenly you're gonna get bum rushed with guards or something of that nature. Instead, you wait a moment, and all of a sudden, one corner of the room, this upper corner here, actually here, I could just like draw it because I have the ability to draw things here. You see the lights not quite turn off. You see the lights seem to almost get sucked in to one of the stones.
Oh. That's
And another moment goes by, and you see on the other side of the room these lights in this corner get kind of like sucked in
this
as
By
really
well.
the
sounds
And the
by
like
the
room
great.
gets
large
slowly darker.
stone in that corner.
It is by this one. Oop, I'm on the wrong thing, so I can't ping. Okay. This one. All of the lights all got sucked into that stone, no matter which corner of the room the lights were coming from.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can I cast the light cantrip and see if my light is affected?
So I'm going to have you guys go in just to keep things
Okay.
less chaotic. I will have you guys go in initiative order at this
Okay.
time. So, Violet, you notice essentially the two corners of the room suddenly get very dark for no rational reason. You all notice that where the light went, essentially.
Um, let's do a um. Are do ich 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 just gonna go ahead and prestidigitate a little bit of like light sparks from where like near where I saw all of the light vanish.
Far corner or corner closest to like where your character is now? Which corner?
Uh nearest me.
Okay. So you do that, and the embers stay there at this moment.
Interesting. Um I will use my movement to get closer to the rest of the group.
Okay.
And then there's duh, 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 duh. Uh, uh, yeah, that's all. That'll be my turn.
Okay. Dustin.
I am going to first. I'm going to try and get this door open. The door open.
That's your action?
Yeah, that can be my action.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and open the door. Oh, I didn't unlock it, but there it is.
Sweet.
The door does open. There's no problem with that.
Okay, what is on the other side of the door?
Oh, it's very familiar to you. It is the wall of water that leads to the bloodsucker exhibit that you actually the last time you opened one of these doors, that's what you opened it up to.
Okay, so the doors on the right side of every room all go to the bloodsucker exhibit, which is going to be problematic for us, but that's what I got.
You remember that the map showed that that was the next room. It just happens to be your luck that is always your next room.
I am going to take one step in to that room, holding the door open, and I am going to turn back to the rest of the group, and in my loudest stage whisper, I am going to say, "Run!"
Yes.
Hey,
And I am holding the door open so that the rest
do
of you
you?
can
Sorry, go ahead.
fucking run.
Do you say that before stepping into the water or after?
The as much as I now think you asking makes what I'm about to say a terrible idea, I honor demands that I say that I stepped through, and then while holding the door open, I say run to everyone else.
You yell that, you get a mouthful of water. Um, and your party sees your mouth moving but can't hear anything
Okay. I've only taken 5 feet
because
of
you're
movement,
underwater.
so I'm gonna step back out and say run again.
Okay.
I have a question, Rhodes. Is Bogey
Sure.
just drenched right now?
Probably.
No, actually, when he steps back in, he is not wet.
Fabulous.
That's convenient.
Magic.
Yeah, so I step back out of the water and just say run.
Okay.
And then I guess
All
I go back
right.
into the water.
Holding the door open still. I got
Holding
it.
the
I
door
got your
open.
intent there.
Hold the door.
Actually, you stepped back into the room and you said, got some of the water out your throat, run, and then you stepped back in.
Yeah.
In particular. As you step back in, let's see here. Spencer,
Uh-oh.
Calvin sees the stone down here. Kind of have a light glow of a kind of like pale yellow energy. And as you presumably turn to either look at that, as you notice it at the corner of your eye, or look at your compatriots to see if they're about to run, you feel your movements be very sluggish under the effects of slow.
Bummer.
Okay. So that means I have half speed,
It
correct?
is yes, but let me open the thing. I can't.
I think
Why are you
slow
moving?
is you can take either an action or a bonus
Yeah.
action, but not both.
Both. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't remember if it affects your actual movement speed. That would make
I think
sense,
it
but I just
does.
don't recall.
Yeah, your speed is halved. You take a -2 penalty to your AC and any dex saving throws. You can't use reactions. And yes, as Dustin said, you can also only use an action or a bonus action. Not both of them. And then, of course, if you're
Um.
casting any spells, you get extra boned because slow sucks. And it is
Yeah.
actually your turn.
Okay. Cool. Uh. So I'm gonna essentially like Baywatch run to the door using my action to dash to make it the 25 feet out the door.
Okay.
So I'm like between Bogey's legs, and
The weirdest, most literal sense, probably, given the height difference. You like dive into the water in between his legs.
yeah, in slow motion.
Yes, in slow motion. All right, you make it outside of the room. And it is Shay. It is your turn.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna pause here and just like ready an action just in case anything comes towards us while we're all trying to run through this door. Um, and if it doesn't trigger, I'll just follow suit and duck out.
Okay. Right. As you run, and stop and turn around and wait. Presumably waiting for, the last member of your party as well to,
Mhm.
make sure that they get through safely and you're keeping an eye out. You feel almost like this disgusting cold tingle down your back. A chilling touch, if you will, as
Ow!
this stone right here, uh the bottom, come on, ping, there it is,
There it goes.
gives a kind of icky green glow of energy, and you take 3 points of necrotic damage.
Ow.
But you do make it to the doorway as you intended. You just feel that ickiness around you. All right.
Gross.
Violet.
Yes.
Am I under slow yet?
No.
You are not under slow.
Oh,
That was a targeted slow, not an area slow.
cool beans. Then use action to dash, giving me 60 feet, which should get me right through the door.
You run of just full tilt, face ahead, not paying attention, don't care what Stone's doing, don't care. You run straight through the door. And so I will say that your compatriot just dives in right after you, and Bogey slams the door shut. And you exit the Tang Hall and whatever the hell those weird creepy rocks were.
Did not like that.
Not your problem anymore. Not your problem.
Um, as soon as I slam that door shut, the other thing I do is I reach into a belt pouch and I grab a small deck of cards. Not do anything with it yet, but I prepare an action to draw a random card.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, mhm.
I noticed Calvin like pretending he's in Baywatch, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, are you good, or we have a problem?
I don't know. Am I still
I
slow?
pick you up and toss
You
you
are
on my
still
shoulders.
slowed.
If you'll let
You
me. I'm
guys,
assuming you don't fight it.
No, I just hold on to your horns.
okay.
Great.
You guys are in this underground cave system that you can choose to you can walk through it, you can also swim through it. It's kind of a weird experience that you can kind of do either one. It's very dark in here. There are some lights, some glowing like fungi mushroom things as well. Um, and you are in this very kind of like underwater cave-like system.
I hate
I'm
everything about this.
I'm just gonna put a ball of light on Kaiman's head
Yeah,
in front of
I
me.
I also cast light.
I glow.
Okay.
Oh, wow, look at all this algae.
Damn it, Violet. I'm just
All
kind
right.
of inching forward slowly, just trying to get. Really just trying to clock what the fuck is going on, trying to find this door. It's gotta be another door, right?
Presumably.
At this
Logically.
point, Calvin's is just floating behind, being pulled by Kaiman because the water.
Just holding
That's
onto
fine.
a horn. Just
Yeah, just like I'm holding on to like
That's
a
fine.
dolphin fin or something.
Yeah.
I'm fine
Is-
with that. You're just using the buoyancy of the water to float. I gotcha. Do you guys jump into the lake?
You said
So
that's a
that
lake.
portion is a large. Yeah.
I thought
I back up.
I thought like this whole thing was just all water.
It is all water, and then there's a spot where it gets like a deeper trench of water. Like when you're in an actual body of water, sometimes there are places where it is deeper down.
Yep.
Oh,
So you are underwater entirely, and it's magically enchanted somehow so that you can breathe with no problem. But then there is like almost an underwater lake in this underwater cave system
okay. So the
that
center
has
here
some
is
sort of
just
like glowing
deeper.
something in it. It's just deeper water. Yes.
I do not go into the deeper water. I
Why
guess
not? Why don't you want to go in the deeper
because
water?
I'm not dumb.
And
That's why.
Does anyone have anything that is dense enough that I can drop down there with a light on it?
Hey.
Um,
Does anyone have like a rock?
It's a cave
I've got
system. You can
pocket-
presumably
Yeah.
find a
We've
rock.
got pocket candy and coins so far.
My
Well,
pocket candy floats.
I'll just take a coin and put a light ball on it and drop it and see how far down it goes.
You drop that off the edge, and it looks like you wait a second, and your best estimation is probably a good like 30 to 40 feet down for this deeper part of the cave system.
yeah, screw that.
Yeah, I don't think going down's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So
I-
there hypothetically there are supposed to be like some kind of glass cases, right? So these fucking bloodsuckers don't attack the patrons.
We didn't go into this
Did
exhibit.
you read the sign outside?
No.
I am going to head down this way to see if there's a door or out somewhere. Is anybody going to follow me down here?
What I just kind of want to like float in the water here so I can keep an eye on you. I don't necessarily want to go with you though,
Okay.
or sink to the bottom.
You're holding the
I'm
center
just
as
like
others
treading
scout.
water here.
Okay.
Okay.
Nim,
Yeah.
can you not look on your map to see the door?
Do you see a
I
door?
could.
Oh god.
Does it say
Right.
where they connect on my map?
As you pull that out, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
My strong suit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad it's you that has the
Cool.
map. It's so much better.
So I got a beautiful one.
Mm.
I got no fucking clue.
Yeah, all you can tell is that the rooms are all connected in some way, but it doesn't give you the detail necessarily, at least as far as you can tell, as to which of these little cave outlets you're supposed to take that leads to
I
the
got nothing.
door itself.
Can I look
If everyone
around and
wants
make?
to give me,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
look around to see if there were any bloodsuckers around, but that may be what you were asking.
I was gonna say if you guys would like to give me an investigation or perception check, you guys can look around. Yeah.
Great, great. 12.
16 perception.
Perception 21.
Jeez.
15 investigation.
Okay. You guys look around, and now that you've oriented yourself a bit, and you guys are kind of clustered around the center, and there is whatever is growing or placed inside the water is also glowing. So it's a little bit brighter right there. So you have a little bit better vantage point. You can see like on the cave walls, there are some like leeches that are like adhered. I can't think of a better word to them. Uh, Dustin, you're looking around once you realize this. You realize that you just went into that like kind of tight corner over there.
Yeah.
You look down at your like pant leg and you find 3 leeches just stuck right on you as you
Cool.
must have brushed up against them as you were walking through.
Okay. I reach down and try and dislodge them.
Give me an attack check in order to try to dislodge
An
them.
attack. Strength or dexterity?
I'll let you pick either.
Okay, dexterity it is. That was a natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
21.
You just ew, and just brush them right off of your leg. Um, and you feel the like suckers that was on you just like pop off of your skin. It's really disgusting. Like you can't hear it very well because you're underwater, but you can still hear it in your mind and feel it
Mhm.
inside you, and like everyone watching can just they you all hear it without hearing it. It's disgusting and gross and makes you all shiver. But you are successfully able to dislodge the leeches that were on your leg.
Cool.
Bogey, if that happens
Nope, nope,
again,
nope.
I
Hate all of this.
Bogey, if that happens again, I might be able to help you get them off. We used to use them in my village, so maybe I can more.
I cannot understand you.
With you guys all under the water, you can communicate with each other.
Oh, that's no
It's
fun.
water non it's water non-water communication that they did not magically connect.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
maybe I could use some more like a more like surgical approach to it, and it'll come off a little easier. You won't get any bits in your bloodstream that you don't mean to.
Yeah, probably for the
In your
best.
bloodstream. I hate all of this.
Um
Item is
Go
like, nope,
ahead,
we're
Spencer,
going.
and give me an intelligence check.
Can I use medicine?
Yeah, or medicine, yeah.
That's what I was going for. 27.
Okay.
God damn.
With with your you've used some of these before. There's a history there. Um So you know what to look out for, and you know there's lots of different types of leeches out there. Um, and so you look at like the I don't even know what to call it, suck
Viscera.
wound, and you look at the leech itself, and you very quickly realize that that was a rot leech. And so it is very likely that your friend essentially has their necrotic poisoning in his bloodstream at the moment.
Would I
Unless you can get it out, yeah.
would I know if there is a medicine that I could use, or would a lesser restoration work?
Um yeah, you had like a fucking bajillion. Yes, you would know that there are herbs and things that can be used, or if you want to just go the magical route, you can magically heal something like that pretty quickly, especially if you do it right away.
I'm
Even a quick, cure wounds within the first like 5 minutes or so typically does the job.
okay. So I will cure the leech wound and prevent the rot from taking hold.
And how do you use Lesser
Uh,
Restoration? Do you use a Cure Wounds or?
I'm going to use Cure Wounds because you said that would work.
Yeah.
And then I can use that with my racial trait.
Much appreciated.
This is why we hired you over Ainsley.
You may know more people, but I can
among
do more
Other
things.
things.
And I make
All right.
a mean cup of coffee.
Speaking of
I
knowing
know.
things,
Absolutely the
how the
best.
fuck do we get out of here?
I don't know. You want
Would
to look at
someone
the
else
map?
like to
I
take a
have
look at the map?
It tells me nothing.
Yeah, Violet or Timpani will look at the map.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that investigation check.
There we go. How about an 18?
Okay. You take a closer look because you're like, I don't know what other disgusting little bloodsuckers are in this room, and I don't like messing with it. And so you take a really close look and you realize that the doorway is actually come on, zoom in, Jessica. Right here at the bottom of the map.
So was Bogey heading in the right direction?
Close-ish. He went down a tunnel that
Eventually.
dead end, but generally, yeah.
Okay.
Essentially you have to go around the lake and over. Is from as you look at the map is what you can tell is the easiest pathway.
Okay.
Be cognizant
Let's go
of the
that way, dude.
walls.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you guys giving me are you guys so you're trying to not get attacked by any more leeches?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yep.
Give me stealth is the closest thing I could think of. So yeah, give me stealth checks for being really careful as to how you move.
Miss Jackson. 30-20.
And
Would acrobatics also be appropriate?
I'll take acrobatics as well. Anything that's just about how you are being agile, or at least attempting to be.
I can make an argument for an athletics check.
That was a 17
Make it a close.
acrobatics. I don't know why Bogey is trained in acrobatics, being the size of an elephant, but here we are.
Were you a circus elephant in a past life?
Yeah.
Apparently,
I
I
feel
am a bard, so yes.
You are.
well that and just like being a creature with such mass, like to be a human, you kind of have to have some acrobatic ability, and sometimes.
I'm
My
sorry.
small size, I rolled a 19 total.
Okay. I'm sorry. I heard Dustin, Spencer. I already forgot the other ones. I'm sorry. I got distracted by circus elephant.
I got a dirty 20.
30-20.
I got a
Okay. Violet?
10.
Okay. That is sufficient. You know to be careful. Your friend taught you a valuable lesson. So you might have to get a little bit of help from your compatriots to be like, do not step there. Oh my goodness. As you almost like put your foot right in like a pile of them at some point, but they're like, no, and move your foot out of the
Watch
way,
yourself.
essentially. Yes. And you are successfully able to get through the rest of the room and to the door without having any more leeches attack themselves to you. Just for S's and G's. Dustin, give me an intelligence check.
You said just an intelligence check.
Yeah, or I'll give you a retroactive history check too, in case you happen to have anything in that.
History is going to be 25.
Wow.
Okay. As you get to the end of this room, you remember that when you were at the ticket counter, there was a button for something that said essentially like Exhibit Hall 2.
Mm-hmm.
And since you guys looked at the map, you realize this is the second room. And maybe that button was going to dispense something that meant that the patrons wouldn't have leeches touch their skin.
Yeah.
Should have touched the button. The one time.
I should have hit the button.
That's okay.
You did not touch the button.
That's fine.
Are you realizing this like as you open the next door, like, son of a
Yeah.
It's okay.
you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Alright, so you
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, if you have anything else you want to do in this room, I assumed you guys were trying to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I am trying to get the fuck out, but I'm looking something up.
Gotcha.
I am 100% trying to get the fuck out. Am I still dragging Calvin along? He's still slowed.
No, at this point it's been a
Okay.
long time that the slow has ended. Yeah.
I don't
All
mind.
right,
I
you
just need
guys
to know.
get to the next room very happily, even though, to be honest, I really liked that map. I like the glowing mushrooms.
That was a good
it's fine,
map.
you guys
You
didn't
did
know.
very
looked
well
really
with it.
Spoiler
It was just
alert.
creepy as hell, and I wanted to get out.
If you guys liked that map, you should stick around for Act 2 because I made a similar map.
Nice.
Oh, I will absolutely be sticking around.
I will say, we coordinated it overall as DMs, but we did not tell each other what everyone else was doing in depth, especially since Dustin was playing in mine and I didn't want to spoil everything for him. So that is just like 2 decades of friendship is what that is. Way too long of knowing each other.
As we enter the next room, I like checking myself for more leeches. I say, that whole experience reminds me of a tale once told to me about a phantom. And I tell a short story about a phantom who chased the townsfolk and a particular part where they're being chased like through a forest, and someone had to be like jumping over and ducking under logs and weaving in and out amongst trees, and it was dark and raining and that sort of thing. And I and activate my Tales from Beyond ability. It costs me a use of Bardic Inspiration, but I now hold the Tail of the Phantom. As an action, I can bestow the tail's effect on, I believe, any willing creature. Yeah, you can use an action to choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you, including myself, to be the target of the tail's effect. Once you do so, you cannot bestow the tail's effect again until you roll it again. So I rolled my Bardic Inspiration die. I rolled an 8, which told me the Tale of the Phantom. So as an action, at some point, I will be able to bestow one of you with the effect, which is the target becomes invisible until the end of its next turn, or until it hits a creature with an attack. If the target hits a creature with an attack during this invisibility, the creature it hits takes necrotic damage equal to a roll of my Bardic Inspiration die and is frightened of the target until the end of the frightened creature's next turn.
I dig it.
I'm just holding on to that right now.
Imagine an invisible minotaur crashing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was just thinking an invisible minotaur, maybe that one that's got like a nasty looking bat. Just saying.
All right. You guys very happily step through into the next room. As you saw before, you are completely dry, so you don't have to worry about sloshing around. The the magic is working wonderfully in that regard, and you see a room full of what looks like, there are some crowns on some display cases. There's lots of armor, lots of arms, different weapons, and things like that. And you remember that this is the room about some of the first kings that existed in Europe, and so you imagine that these are probably their relics and various things that they had during their times.
Okay, so I see a suit of armor in the north of us, at least from the way that I'm looking at it. Are like these also suits? What is this? That looks like it might be a cannon.
That last one's a cannon. The other ones are not full suits of armor. They're just like a portion of it on a stand.
Okay.
But yeah, scattered throughout the room, there are various different suits of armor and weaponry of old.
Similar to the previous rooms, I am just going to head towards the other.
Okay. Are you guys trying once again to stealth and whatnot?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am not
I got
stealthy fucking at all. Natural one.
I'm not either.
Let's go, guys.
Alright.
Clomp, 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 clomp.
Oh, at least I got a 7. I did better than.
Also a natural 1.
Oh boy.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be great.
Whoa.
I got a 15.
Okay.
I don't think that matters anymore.
Calvin's light little feet just quiet, I'm doing the thing. Everyone else just smash through the room.
I'm
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
I had leeches on me. I'm upset. I don't like the water.
Oh yeah.
It's
Still got some in your trunk.
yeah. I
Yeah, but
do
these
have
are only on your leg.
I do have the forethought that I do not want to pass in front of the business end of that ballista. So I
Oh,
will
100% not.
I am going around the ballista. And
Okay.
back this way towards
With
the
a
door.
natural 1, was that?
Yep.
Cool. You are like, I'm smart enough not to walk in front of the ballista. But not stealthy enough to do it very agilely, because you are trying to weave in between the ballista and that display, and obviously you're trying not to knock the display because it's got something that looks very, very, very valuable on it. And you manage to instead knock the ballista, which just impales the other wall.
Calvin's
And
Alright.
manages
there.
to.
If the people who
Good
run
thing I'm
this
Yeah,
short.
it goes just. Yeah.
if the people who run this museum just keep a loaded ballista like just sitting out, that is gross negligence on their part. And if someone would have gotten hurt, I would have sued the museum. And I'd have won too.
Okay.
Because
Well,
that is completely
Okay, we broke in. That doesn't work.
yeah. Remember that you think that, and then you remember, oh yeah, it's night. They turned off some of the enchantments. So probably some of the safety features that would have kept people from being able to get too close are turned off.
You know what's a safety feature that cannot be turned off? Unloading the ballista.
Not loading the ballista.
Don't load it in the first place.
It looks more
so
fun that
sorry
way.
that it does. I'm so sorry that the staff of the Field Museum and my fantasy universe did not consider your thief's feelings.
I am going to write a strongly worded letter to the people who run the Field Museum in Chicago.
Fantasy Field Museum, not real Field Museum. We love you very much, Field Museum. Thanks.
Please unload your
But
ballista.
yes, Calvin is Please
Public
unload it
service
at night in case I want to steal from you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
public service announcement.
Calvin, you are able to, like, you are walking right there. You see it coming. You at a 15, you're short enough that you just kind of do a little bit of this and feel it go right over your head. Thank goodness. But you guys are, oh,
I think their
there we
camera
go.
or
Okay.
their mic was not working. It happens
Okay.
sometimes.
There we go, I think. So
Why
you
you
are
back?
able to, after that debacle, awesome. The rest of you, I will say, tread a lot more carefully. So even with some not so great rolls from there, you take a moment and you just slow down. Like Bogey was going real fast, real heavy. You guys go, nope, and take your time. I'll give you almost like a bonus pass without trace to the rest of your rolls of like slowing down helps you be quieter and
Good.
stealthier
So we
and
got
better.
like an
Yes.
11 and a 16. It's
Yes.
fine.
Yes. But which is sufficient to get to the other end of the room without knocking over or activating anything else that is in this room.
That's good.
Alright.
Although I think I'm getting a little, well, let's say bat happy. I want to swing this thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're very bat happy because you know, oh, I read the map and I know the next room's the last room. Yeah, that's where it is.
Let's go.
And
Let's
so
go.
yeah. Now, as soon as you get to that door, you're just like gung ho, ready to
yeah.
go straight over to that thing. And you're in the
Ready?
very familiar Hall of Gems. This time, very quiet, no one around.
Which end of the room are we in? The right or the left?
Oh, sorry, yes, I forgot to move you guys since you guys were originally in the room. There you go.
Okay.
That's it. Let's
There we
see
go.
it.
Okay.
Alright.
I didn't mean to do that.
As
Let's
we
Us.
as we approach the case where this diadem is, I turn back to the group and say, I can probably get this thing pretty open pretty easily. But once I do this, everybody's gonna know we're here. If they don't already.
Hey,
I'm astounded.
I can do that too.
I'm astounded that alarms aren't already going off.
I mean, it sort of
Tiffany opens her spellbook and opens it to the knock page and points at it. This? You talking about this?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
I can make
Before we
you
do
guys.
that,
I can make
What?
things quiet, but you won't be able to talk during it. Does that matter?
If you make it quiet, I can just bash it in.
Wait.
I believe knock has
Oh.
verbal components.
Yes,
That sounds
it is
right.
only a verbal component.
Yeah.
I can break
I
this
will
open
give you
real
because
quietly.
You could. I will say because you had done detect magic on it before, you do know that as you think on it again, like there was a lot of magic in this room, but you did focus in on this one obviously since that was your target. You know that there are 4 arcane locks on this, essentially like locking different segments of this piece closed.
Okay. So we would have to knock 4
Well,
times.
I have 2 second level spell slots left.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it. It would just.
Alternatively, save your
So
spells.
to
Choices.
rules lawyer a little bit. The knock sound comes from the object, and the verbal components come from the person casting it. So
Yeah.
we could be outside of the silence, cast into the silence. Rules is written.
That is very
Yeah,
true.
it's a
And
60-foot range spell.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, do you want to just do that then? Jazz,
Have
I
I
know
been
you want to
outnumbered?
beat.
I
I
think
know
I've
you
been
want to beat
outvoted.
shit down with your bat.
Look, it help you save your spells. Just saying.
I mean, this is what my
Which
spell.
costs
Well-
one
well-
instead of four.
This is
well,
what my
silence-
spell slots are for.
silence lasts for 10 minutes, so we could give Kaiman a minute or two.
Yeah.
See if anything happens,
Well,
and then go with
This
Plan
well,
B.
after we undo the arcane locks, we're not sure that there's not just a like. You might have to still break open the thing,
Yeah.
but
This is
we might
true.
have to unlock it first so that you can have access to break it open.
Yeah.
So, let's get started.
Yeah. Step one, regardless, is silence.
Do we have 10 minutes or do we not have 10 minutes?
Nope.
No,
Don't have
you
10
Can
minutes.
can't.
That's
certainly
fine.
try for 10 minutes. I mean, that's a choice. That's a choice. Lots of
No.
choices in this life.
Do whatever you need to do it faster. Do
All right.
that.
All right. No, we do not have 10 minutes. Let's use a spell slot then, or whatever those are.
Yes.
All right. So there's a 20-foot box that gets can I ping with this? Whatever. I'll just move my character. I want to get the main thing and one of the smaller cases with my silence. So I want to get all 4
20 foot,
arcane.
you said, right?
Yeah, 20-foot cubes. I want to get the 4 arcane locks,
Oh, it's a
and
cube?
then
I don't know why I thought it was a circle.
and then if I can get one of the other cases in, I will.
Silence is a circle in Baldur's Gate.
Interesting.
So there's a reason I thought that, even though I've actually never
oh
played
no,
Baldur's Gate.
silence is a
But-
20-foot. Sorry, it was a different one. It was Fairy Fire that was a 20-foot cube. This is a 20-foot
Ah.
radius sphere. Sorry.
It's like,
So
I swear I know stuff, guys. I've
20
played this
foot
game before.
radius?
Yeah,
I played this game.
That's big.
yeah.
That's
So-
big. You can get that
Yeah.
entire side of that room if you
Cool.
would like.
Kaiman, go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Kaiman comes last. We do the knocks first to undo the arcane lock.
Yeah. I step out of the circle. If I can that's the right freaking tool. Yeah, and I burn 2 second level spell slots. And I knock.
Same.
I cast knock on 2 of those arcane locks.
Tiffany does the same on the other two.
Cool. The 3 of you not inside of the silence. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Less. A lot less. 9. Or if I'm relying on my keen smell, 22.
Okay.
That one.
Oh.
One. Okay. Timpani doesn't hear this, but Calvin and Bogey, you guys are very certain that in the distance you hear what almost seems to be like a loud clanking.
In response.
And you're realizing that maybe you should hurry up.
Yeah. I'm going to, in the interest of fairness,
So what happened after all of the arcane locks were disabled? To the
There's
case.
no discernible effect.
Okay, I start swinging.
You're just gonna hit it. You're not gonna try to like open it. You're just gonna hit it. That's
Yeah.
fine. Give me an attack
Glass
check.
won't break. It's fine.
it's all like triple reinforced polycarbonate.
It's
But there's a
fine.
hinge where you can just open it up from the
16.
bottom.
You hit it. Go ahead and give me a damage roll. I mean, yeah, you can hit the damn thing. It's stationary. I'm gonna assume that you don't mess it up too bad.
8 piercing damage.
Okay. You whack at it. You get a couple of cracks in the glass, but you have not like swung through it. You know, you get the vibe. If you're gonna go with this route, it's going to probably take a couple more swings. So you can keep
Uh,
swinging if you'd like.
Can I make a perception check or investigation to see if there's a just way to open it? Now that the
If
locks
you'd like
have been taken
to,
off, I can
are you
move
doing
closer.
that from outside or going in? Yeah.
Oh, could be inside
Yep,
the
you can
silence.
do that. Yeah, that works.
My next swing was a 22 to hit with 12 piercing damage.
Okay, the glass is very splintered at this point, so you know probably one more good solid hit, like right in that same area, would probably shatter the glass. And what is Calvin's perception check?
As I'm startled from the lack of sound,
Yeah.
I get a 17 on my
Okay.
perception.
All right. But is kind of just going for that last hit?
Yep, 15 or 11 damage.
Okay. Calvin, you just instinctively try to say, "Oh, hey, there's a door, like there's a latch here," but nobody can hear you. And so Kaidam just takes one more swing. And again, weird because you can't hear it, but you can see the glass shatter and the top of it just like goes flying out or flying off of it and resting inside with, you know, shards of glass all around it is the sage diadem.
Feels sacrilegious, but I want to just take it out and put it on my head.
I'm not tall enough to reach it.
I got it. Don't worry.
You gonna take it off and put it on your head?
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it off.
Take
I
it
can't
out? Okay.
hear anyone.
Give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yep, that tracks.
Oh man,
14.
that's not
You pick it up, and despite the fact that you are in essentially a cone of silence, you hear a whisper, almost like there's someone right in your ear speaking to you, saying, "Why don't you just fulfill your potential?"
I did. I smashed it.
Who are these? My parents?
Whew, we got deep.
Ooh.
um,
Oh no.
You think that, and you hear in response, "Oh, but you could do so much more."
Mm, let's go.
Guys,
But you
I
do
think
not feel compelled to put it on or anything of that nature.
That's
I
probably
have-
for the best.
I think I have some bad news.
Bad
Not
news.
only has Hassasaurus gifted a tier 1 sub to the channel, thank you, Hassasaurus, but they have also redeemed a dance check for what is
What
that?
is that
1,000
supposed
bits,
to mean?
1,000 channel points. I think we have to take a dance break. I think it has
I
to
don't
be
know
a
what that
10.
means, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Remember, we discussed. I don't know what bits do.
I think we have
I would
to
just
take
like
it.
do the Macarena.
I think we have to take a quick panicked dance break before shit gets really bad.
We've got
Yeah.
musical
We got a
instruments.
banjo.
Excellent.
Not that
Where's
we
that?
could hear it, but
What's one of those? Can I pull up the Discord window again? Did that ruin everything?
Oh, where it like makes the noises. Yeah, I don't know if you
Yeah.
should do it because you are the stream, so you might break the stream.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where the soundboard is. Yeah, if you break the stream,
There
your
we
wife
go.
will break you.
I found it. We get one quack.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you for the sub and bits that now I really don't want to know what they do beyond that. So Item and Calvin, you guys, I'm going to presume, are going to start exiting the cone of silence, essentially.
yeah.
Timpani and Bogey, and actually, I'll say everyone as you guys are getting out of there. Go ahead and give me another perception check.
Yeah, so we've got the thing now, right?
I have it.
You've got
26.
the thing for sure. For sure.
It's in my hand.
24.
I rolled a 4.
Perception check is an 11, or if I'm relying on my keen sense of smell, it is 23. Apparently, my nose is much
Keep
better
rolling
than
better
my
on-
eye.
Can you smell these footsteps?
Yeah. Does it smell like danger is coming down the hallway?
Sure. I'm sorry, what were the other rolls? Sorry.
26.
24.
24? Okay. So Calvin and Timpani, you look through the opened doorway that you came through, and you realize that it's not showing the rulers of Europe room like it should be. It is instead showing the main entryway. And for a second you're like, "Oh, okay, well, we like went through everything, so that makes sense." Until you see movement and you realize that the head of a very, very large skeletal Tyrannosaurus Rex is trying to peek into the room.
Do I
Soup.
smell this happening?
I
Smell the bones moving.
yeah, you can't smell the bones. They've been cleaned over time. There's no meat on them still. But I will say that your friends probably go, oh fuck, and get your attention, and everybody knows.
If that is the case, there are two things that I would very quickly like to do. I've had this deck of cards in my hand.
Yes, you have.
Rhodes, I would like you to pick a number between 1 and 34, inclusive.
Can't roll that. 17.
Okay. I draw a random card from my deck. I throw it out the door and then slam the door behind us. And just as I'm slamming the door shut, a bugbear appears where the card lands.
Okay. You do that, and you somehow hear a massive roar, which doesn't make sense because the skeleton doesn't have vocal cords. But it does. And hear a clank as presumably it is, knocked down or into something. And so you can very much hear that bone on like the tile floor banging together.
As I slam the door shut, I turn to the rest of the
Mhm.
group. Whoever has that stone or gem to get us out of here, and I say, "Somebody get us the fuck out of here."
Use your
Go!
card on the door. Get us to the staff room, the break room. See if you can
No,
do
we
that
have an
using your.
exit.
No, we can just make a portal
Wait.
from that.
Oh, wasn't there a code word?
Yeah,
Oh,
acquired. I
right.
start shouting the word
Quiet.
acquired.
I have it. Timpani pulls it out. Gathers everyone close and says "acquired," and see if the portal works.
Rhodes, it is worth noting that
You
this deck is just a deck of illusions. That is not actually a real bug. So it might
yeah,
distract Sue for a round or two,
yeah.
but that's probably about it.
Yeah. Sue definitely got distracted and like took a step back and like tripped over something, which is the clanking that you heard as it like knocked into stuff for a moment. So Timpani pulls out the stone and says, "Acquired." And you see that the stone has activated and done something. Like, because it was already kind of molten and seemed to be doing something, but it glows that very bright lava, like live lava glow in your hand. You can feel it be a little bit warmer as well. But you don't see the portal itself. But you know that it probably worked. Probably.
I'm worried. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm worried that there's magic dampening happening here, and we're not able to get access to the portal inside of this room. See?
And you can give me an Arcana check as well if you'd like. You are a magic
Do you
user.
think do you think it's just taking a while to activate? We didn't ask how this thing
It
worked.
could be. It could be.
I'm going to use my second portent roll of 11 to give me an 18 Arcana check.
Okay. You're trying to figure out like why isn't it working? Why wasn't I just like sucked into the ground or something? Like I don't know. Portals work in lots of different ways. And you can see that it is activated and it is working, and you start to think, okay, what are some of the ways in which portals function? What kind of portal could this be? And you know that there are types of portals that require enough space to work, depending on where the exit is and how it was designed. And so you're in a very comparatively a smaller room. It's very possible that you just need to be in a wider open space for this to function appropriately. And this room doesn't have enough space for it to work.
Okie doke, there's not enough
Oh.
space here. We gotta get somewhere a little bit wider.
Like the atrium?
You know, a little bit.
Or just the fuck out of this building.
Or the fuck out of the building. Yeah, that would work too. As you guys say that, you feel the doorway like shake as presumably Sue's figured out that that's not real and is smashing into the door trying to get inside.
Okay. If someone opens the door, I can take care of her at least long enough for us
you
to all
wanted
get
to hit
out
something
of the
with
door.
you wanted to hit something with your bed, so you let me know when to open it.
Before we do that, I'm gonna say a prayer to myself and cast Spirit Guardians centered on myself. So that way we
Is
can
the purchase? Oh god, I hope I don't die today.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
please don't let me get eaten today.
You're like, I'm
Because you
just
are a
getting
snack.
bonus credit
Like
for
I
this.
I just wanted college credit. I like McNuggets. I didn't want to become a McNugget. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
While you do that, I am going to in my little pep talk for Jazz, I am going to cast guidance, and I am going to give you bardic inspiration.
I do not have a D4 out, but that's fixable. Okay, okay, okay. I'm going to rage first, and
Rage.
then
Angry.
and
Rar.
then Bogey, you can open the door.
Okay, I open the door.
And is Sue right there?
Oh yeah, Sue right there.
I
She right
take
there.
a swing.
Wrong.
All right, go ahead and take a swing.
That is a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. Well, okay, so oh, actually that was plus whatever, 21. So then that is
That will also hit. Yes.
gonna be okay. Well, that's lame. It's only 5 damage, but when I hit a creature with a melee attack while raging, I can push that creature up to 5 feet away from me in a direction of my choice. However, I'm assuming that Sue is huge or larger, so she has to make a strength saving throw.
Yes, Sue is a big girl.
You're a big dinosaur.
Preferably below a 15.
I rolled like absolute garbage, so yes, she's pushed. What you said? What 5 feet back?
5 feet.
5 feet. All right. Yes, she is pushed 5 feet back, and thus, you guys have an opportunity to get through the doorway, should you so choose.
Um,
Given
do
an
I only get to do
opportunity
this
where I'm
once?
not going to eat an attack of opportunity.
Hang on. I get to do this as many times as I want. So I'm gonna pop up and use my second attack
Mhm.
and try and push her
Go for it.
again. So it does save you guys from that opportunity attack. That's a 26
Wrong.
for 7 plus 4 is 11 damage, and then I need another strength saving throw.
We're gonna use this one. Um, do, do, do. 19.
Yeah. Oh, I tried. Go.
Wait, did we have?
Are you guys
Before
running into?
Did we ever roll initiative
before
for
we
this?
do that,
No, this was still
Okay.
part of the
Okay.
action here. So no, you guys have not
I
yet.
wanted to make sure I didn't forget
to create a distraction, Tiffany is going to take off her scarf, which is a non-magic scarf, and cast Tiny Servant to create it. It sprouts little cartoon arms and legs, a la Towley from South Park, and I
Jesus.
command it to run out the door across the Sue's path.
Okay. Give me just a straight charisma roll. How charismatic and exciting is this towel? Oh, I'm sorry, scarf. Scarfy.
Scarf. Oof. Oh, okay. So that's 18 minus 1. So that's a 17.
Okay, you toss it out, and it basically like starts to dance up Sue's body, which is enough to like make Sue take a few steps back as it's trying to use its tiny little T-Rex arms to knock this thing off, but it can't, and so it's just kind of tumbling around a little bit. And you guys have probably a good 15 feet between doorway and Sue now at this point. Go ahead and everyone give me perception checks as well.
24.
4, 12,
14.
14.
Uh, 15 with my eyes or 19 with my smell.
Um, this is a visual one. Sorry, I did not build this game for smell. I apologize, Dustin.
I accept your
But
apology.
you guys all roll well enough that you can see essentially like in the center of the room um is what looks to be a massive portal from floor to ceiling. And remember, this is a huge
Oh, damn.
vaulted ceiling that goes up at least 2 stories. And you realize, oh, the magic worked. It just couldn't be in this room. It didn't fit. But you can see this massive portal that you are going to want to get to. I will say we'll move you guys into the entry so you right at the edge of the entry so you can see it now in that little portal right there in the middle. Is it not actually moving, you guys? What you doing? Foundry? Am I being foundried again?
You might be foundried
I got
again.
stuck at 93%.
Oh,
That's what I got stuck at.
Oh, okay.
there's a. Now I'm just looking at a big gray void.
Yeah, I refreshed and hoped it'd fix it, and it did not.
No, then I just need to close it again. Foundry, why you do this to me? Why don't you like me, Foundry? Um Now it's not even letting me close it. What the fudge? Okay.
Nope.
Ha.
Site cannot
Nope.
be reached.
What are you doing, Foundry? Whatever. Theater of the mind. We're almost done anyway.
Yep.
So about in the middle of the room, and you guys already know what the room looks like because you were in there already. You guys can see. So right in front of you, about 15 feet in front of you, you see Sue fighting a scarf. And in the center of the room is this massive, dark-looking portal. That's only about, maybe 15 feet wide, but just 15 feet wide all the way to the ceiling.
All right.
Oh, now it wants to work
Yeah,
again.
now it looks like
Let's
it's working
go.
again.
All right, you guys just gonna try to book it towards the portal?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I will use the initiative from just last time, just so we can make life easier for me mentally. And I'm sorry, Violet, were you saying something?
I was just going to say what I did. I think I'm first in initiative, yes?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Okay.
you are. Yep. Continue.
So Tiffany is going to kind of use like 30 feet of movement to kind of get under Sue or in Sue's business, and then use a bonus action to uh, Canadian Misty Step uh, over here past her.
All right. You are able to successfully do that. Sue does notice you, and you see the tail kind of start moving in your direction to take a swipe, but you misty step right out of the way there.
I puff into a bunch of maple leaves. And then that's my turn.
Okay. Dustin was next.
Okay. I am going to move 5, 10, 30 feet. Rhodes, I would like you to pick a number 1 through 33.
1 through 33.
Because I've already used the bugbear card.
Yeah. 5.
I draw another card from the deck, and I want to try and throw it like. Yeah, I want to try and throw it as close as I can to Sue to try and just keep her over there. Oh, good.
Okay.
I appear, or an illusion of me appears
Okay.
in whatever that space is.
I didn't know you knew how to
Excellent.
do that.
Okay, you do that. To remind you guys, you do have 2 lore actions that you guys did not use. If you feel the need to try to activate any of those, so
I don't even know
you
what
have
those
the
would
option
be.
of
Oh yeah, what are our
you have the option of a mass healing word. There's also a temporary wall of force that would last only 1 round, but would box something in. And you could cast haste on a player if necessary.
Okay.
So
I
if
think that
somebody's
wall of
being extra slow.
I think whoever is next should do that wall of force just to box Sue in and just give us time to get to this portal.
Next is actually Sue herself, though.
Oh.
So she
where does my
goes ahead
illusory
and
copy end up?
where do you want? You said you want it just like right in front of her face. Like, do you want it there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm throwing a playing card. It's not going to go real far, but I want to throw it as close as I can to where she's at as possible.
Yeah, I'll say you get it like kind of right within her view. She doesn't have eyes, but within her field of view.
Okay.
And it's the closest thing to her as much as she can see. So she's going to actually use her action to take a swipe at you, quote unquote, because she saw you in that room because you're the one that opened the door and now you're right in front of her face. So this is perfect. And she takes the 26 to attack. She takes a gnarly bite out of this fake you, and you are so immensely glad that it is not the real you, because that looked like it was going to hurt like a mofo as she just chomped down. And as she can't quite realize that it's not real yet, she was already in motion to take a bite and then was already halfway like turning around to take a tail attack as well. And she hits the spot where the illusion is, and that is what realized like she didn't get anything in her teeth and her tail didn't really make contact, and she realizes that this is not real in some way. Like, this doesn't do anything at the very least. And she lets out like a frustrated roar. And you are quite happy that you are like 30 feet away or something.
Yeah.
Spencer, it is your turn.
So first we're gonna do movement. Got wait. How did is that on the first time their turn? Trying to read my spirit guardians real quick on when that damage happens for the first time.
It's when
Okay,
they
for the first
enter
time
the
on their
space.
turn. Okay. So I was here. I've got my spirit guardians aura up. And I'm gonna do a 3rd level scorching ray because I don't want to throw a fireball in a museum.
Coward.
But a scorching ray, that's fine.
Well, this is more pointed. I'm more likely to hit the
True.
thing that I want. So that's 4 rays. I got a
They destroy
13,
one.
a 13, a crit, a 22, and a 23.
All of those hit.
So that's 10d6 total. I don't have that many d6s up here.
So for the crit, house rules in Nerd House is that you get max base damage and then roll. Because otherwise you don't want to roll 2 1s and then your crit actually sucks and doesn't do anything. So you don't have to roll 2 of them, you'll just get the max on it. Assume max there. And roll as normal then.
So for
I
the
deal
That rolls so
42
much.
fire damage total.
damn.
Christ.
4 with my 2d6s that I was rolling. I got a 4, 2 8s, and a 10.
Right.
And that is the end of my turn.
Okay. Very frustrated because that was not pleasant.
It was rude.
Yeah, it was rude. You came into her museum, take her stuff. She is going to use a legendary action, and she is going to let out a mighty roar, and I need everyone to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Is this to be
I'd
frightened?
like to just roar back at
Yes,
her.
it would be to be frightened. So if you're immune to that, then
I get
or have
advantage
some
on
sort of
frightened.
a advantage, yeah.
Nice.
14 do the trick.
18.
15.
14 does not do the trick. 18 does. I'm sorry, what was that, Violet?
15.
15's the DC, so players
I
get
failed.
it. No luck from Dustin.
Nope.
Okay. So we've got Bogey and Kynum are both frightened of Sue now.
Oh, damn.
For 1 minute, which, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. But the other two, you shake it off. Hey, the portal's right there. And also, it's just a skeleton. Whatever. Go back to sleep, Sue. You're dead already. And you are immune from the roar for the next 24 hours.
Nice.
And Shay, it is your turn.
This is really disappointing because I just want to hit the thing. You know what I can do? Maybe. Okay, how does Reckless work? Does it have to be on melee? Yep.
I believe
That's
so, yeah.
disappointing. Okay, fine. I will activate that wall of force. I don't know how that physically happens, but let's do it.
You guys are a seasoned adventuring group, and so you have over the years collected various magical objects that you can use. So even if you are not a magic user yourself, you can activate this magical object. And so it is going to give you, that temporary wall of force that you can use to just kind of box Sue in to a little circle around her.
Sweet.
And then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my movement. And I'm just gonna stay here and let everybody else get out first. Because I will be able to get
Okay.
through the door on the next round without an issue. And I don't think there's any cool bonus actions I can do because I haven't attacked. Yep, that's the case.
All right. Violet.
I will hold my action just in case Sue somehow gets closer to us.
You used your action for the lair
I
action. So you
did.
can activate an object.
Ah, okay. Works.
Unless DM for this, were we saying lair actions were a bonus thing? I don't think we ever actually technically discussed how they worked. If they were outside of a normal action.
Will defer to the one who is currently in charge. That is not how I plan to run mine in the next session, if any come up. But
I don't care.
You kid.
I'm flexible.
No, that's fine. I'll let you hold your action then. For consistency amongst the game, that is fine. I just realized we
Appreciate
didn't
you.
chat about it.
There will be very little consistency among these games. I will have you know.
I mean, isn't
But
that
there
the
will be
whole point?
some.
There will be a fair amount of
There has to
consistency.
be some.
Actually,
Yes. So for the sake of that, then yes, you can hold your action. That was above and beyond get out of jail free card, which is kind of the point of the lair actions for you guys. All right, Violet, it is now your turn.
Is going to cast magic missile and aim for the chain of the chandelier that's just behind Sue.
Okay.
Uh, magic missile, obviously, so it hits, and then we'll just do a little smattering of damage. 2, 4, 4. So 10 plus 3, 13 force.
Okay. That is enough to break the chain that's holding that chandelier up, and it comes shattering down. It doesn't quite hit Sue. Actually, okay. It's above the wall of force, and it's going to hit the wall of force.
Mostly
High or
wanted
low?
low.
Okay. I'm sorry. Complete your thought, because that will help
I was
finish.
gonna say I was shooting for distraction more than anything, but if it does damage, then
Okay.
cool.
Okay. It definitely distracts as the chandelier falls and essentially like lands initially on the wall of force itself, because the wall of force is only 10 foot tall and these ceilings are a lot higher than that. So it lands on it and it almost like teeter totters for a second before falling inward and onto Sue's tail.
Sick.
Doing 4 points of damage to Sue as it hurts her little tail.
No.
Poor Sue.
Cool
So-
beans. Using
Yeah.
the entirety of my movement, I will go into the portal.
Okay. And Dustin.
all right. I am going to. 30. That is as far as I can get.
Unless you would like to activate haste if you feel you need it.
No, I am actually. I am actually going to use. I'm going to use my action to activate haste on Calvin, if I can.
Sure.
Good job.
Well, you don't have to use your action, remember? Because we decided it's not your action. It's bonus. So you can do it as bonus.
Oh yeah, so I'll do that, and then as my action, then I'm going to. I'm going to cast Cloud of Daggers centered on Sue.
Because we're so mean.
My heart hurts,
Sue is iconic.
I know.
and I'm the one who's
Don't like
just bashed the
history.
shit out of her.
I
All
feel really
right.
bad about this, but I want to live.
Yep.
So when I cast it, and then this will happen again at the top of Sue's next turn. Sue takes. I am casting this at 3rd level. So Sue is going to take 6d4 damage. And there is no save.
Maybe.
She's also stuck at a wall of force, so like what would she do anyway?
So that is. So that is 16 points of slashing damage.
Okay. And you said again at the start of her turn she takes more damage?
Yeah. It's the first time
Is there
it's
anything
the
else?
first time she moves into it, which happens when I cast, and then at the top of every round that she's in.
Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it's Sue's turn.
Yep.
She's stuck in a wall of force until the end of Shay's turn, and thus starts her turn inside the cloud of daggers.
Sorry, baby.
That is another 16 points of damage.
All right. Sue just keeps taking a beating from this cloud hanging above her head, and cannot do anything other than be angry about it at the moment. All right. So that is effectively her turn. So, Spencer.
All right, so I am under the effects of haste. So I'm gonna
You've
use
just been having a fun little time with your speed over here today.
yeah. So talking like I've drank the entire pot of coffee that I just made. How is Sue looking?
Sue doesn't look great,
Okay.
you know, for a sack of bones. Worse than that, you know.
So can if the wall of force is only 10 feet tall, can I target her above that?
Yeah, if you have something that would have that reach, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll be right before the door. Cast another scorching ray. So that's 3 attacks. Got a 19, a 14, and a 16.
All of those will hit. She doesn't have armor. She doesn't even have skin. Of course it hits.
Your field museum.
That is
We love
26.
Sue.
That is 26 fire damage to Sue, as she now has 7 total scorch marks on her skull.
All
And then
right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I was 5 feet short of the door.
Well, your
Even with
movement,
haste?
yeah, your
I
movement
only
is
have 25 base speed.
yeah, which doubles to 50 because you're hasted.
Oh, I miscounted. So yeah, I'm through the portal.
Okay.
I
All
counted
right.
before I did
And
that and saw he's not gonna have enough. He's not gonna have enough space to get out of here this round or next round.
all right. It is Heinem's turn.
That leaves me. I take 2 here, and then I want to use the shove action to shove Bogey through the door.
Okay. Bogey, are you going to try to resist that, or are you gonna let that happen?
I mean, I'm already going that way, so why you pushing me? Yeah, I'm gonna try and resist.
I'm impatient.
I mean,
Okay,
you
then I'm
you
gonna
could
say
just go.
strength check for Shay and strength or athletics or acrobatics for Dustin.
Just a pure strength check?
It would be athletics for you,
Athletics,
or
yeah, athletics for
acrobatics
you, yeah.
me.
I got 23, buddy.
God, fucking 22.
Oh,
Damn it!
Hey, yeah. All
Alright,
right,
come on, bud.
so
turns out an elephant isn't bigger than a cow.
Isn't stronger.
yeah,
Wasn't
you
expecting it.
shove them right on through. You just take the horns, just like right in the ass, poke them right on through.
And I just It's like, bye, Sue. I love visiting you when you're not attacking me. Bye.
You
Forgetting
complete your
college
movement and run through.
institution.
Bye.
All right, you guys all get through this portal. Sue, since it's the end of the round, the wall of force does drop, and Sue, for a moment, you see her running towards that portal, but it immediately closes behind you once
thank
the last
God.
of you is through. And you guys go through this portal, and you're expecting to walk through into another room or something of that nature. But instead, you guys immediately feel your bodies freeze. And you are in pitch blackness. So even if you have dark vision, there is nothing that could help you to see anything. And you take kind of a feeling around. You're just trying to understand what's going on, take account of your senses, and you realize you can't even move your bodies. They are in some sort of a stasis. And you hear a voice say, I suppose I was right. There were no troubles. Thank you for your assistance. This will be the crowning jewel to what I need. And you will be additional assistance further. And as you hear that, you see a blue glow, and you can just barely make out the diadem kind of in the distance of that blue glow. And as that blue gets brighter and brighter in your senses, everything else kind of seems to almost fade away, as well as even your own recognition of what is happening around you. All you can understand and sense and feel is the pulsating blue energy from that diamond. And so that's the end of Act 1. Everybody stick around
Yay!
for another 7 or so minutes, and we will get started with Act 2.
That was great.
Yeah, and we will.
That was fun.
Thank you.
It
Thank
was
you.
so much
I had
fun.
a fun time with you guys.
We kicked Sue's ass.
We seriously did.
All
I
of
feel a
this
little
because
bad
I was
about it.
thinking the other day, I was like, I should go to the museum. I haven't been there in a while. And I was like, museum. But yes, we will be back in a few minutes. We'll take a 5-minute or so break to change over potties and all of that. But please join us again for Act 2 and maybe a little bit of explanation as to what the hell is going on here. Spooky, spooky.
Yeah.
But thank you to everyone that's donated thus far. We are at what are we at? Numbers.
24
Numbers are
something.
hard.
Yeah, we're at
2465. Which is
So,
awesome. Thank you so much, everyone.
good start to the day.
And,
More to come. So, yeah, thanks everybody again for playing. Thanks, Rhodes, for being our first DM of the day. And we will catch you back here in just a few minutes. Okay, bye.
See you, Internet.
Party.
Bye, guys.